What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Pass the Barb. You are listening to the number one outdoor podcast in the world. Today is Monday. It is July 7th. We are hot off the 4th of July weekend. We got a short bench tonight. That is not a problem. I was absent last week, but I'm back. So this is going to be a good one. I got my boy, Adam Bartusek, checking in. What up, brother?
What up, dude? Another week being number one, another week of a short deck. But the good thing is we got a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of fun stories, and great guest tonight. So be a lot of
looking
fun.
forward to it. Yeah, we got an awesome guest tonight. This is going to be a fun one. I think we got a lot of story times. There's been a lot of things happening. Our boy Sam Sobey not here tonight. I think he is still potentially hung over off 4th of July weekend, from what I've heard.
I have no idea. All he texted was camp pod tonight, boys. That was it. So
yeah,
you know as much as we do.
Get in those DMs. You want to find out the deal, get in there. But
yeah, you might have as much success with that as getting him to pay up his fantasy loss punishment. So,
but it is worth a shot.
It is worth a shot. The good thing is he never replies to DMs, but if you bug him enough, he will get irritated by the amount of notifications he has.
Yeah, and rest assured, he sees them whether he responds or not. So it will hurt still.
Yeah, it gives him anxiety. So it actually is almost better. Yeah, you know what? Go message him.
Yeah,
we just talked ourselves into it.
Flooded it. Yeah, we like this. But yes, so awesome weekend. Did you do anything for the 4th?
Honestly, not really. No, I kind of last year I didn't get to do anything for the 4th because I was driving to Lake St. Clair for the Bassmaster Opens. This year, Alyssa and I kind of just hung out. To be honest, I didn't go see any fireworks or anything. I'm not like a huge July 4th person in general. I just not because I don't like our independence and everything. It's just more of I spend a lot of time on the water. Yeah. I spend a lot of time on the water, and those 3 or 4 days are the worst time to spend on the water.
So bad. Yeah.
I normally we went to a carnival down in Annandale, and then went to a couple of bars that were open and just had a couple drinks, listened to live music, and then we were home at I don't know, 9 to 10-ish, and then we heard the fireworks going off, and we were just old people and went to bed.
Love that.
And then Saturday I didn't. I feel like I did something on Saturday. Let me look at my calendar. But Sunday, I know that we went and we went and did a couple more things around town on Sunday. I went out on the lake for a little bit on Sunday. Didn't really catch much, but as you know, Sunday was way nicer out than Saturday or Friday was.
Yeah, definitely.
Way nicer out. So yeah, Friday we kind of just hung around because the weather was kind of crummy too. But yeah, other than that, didn't really do much. Just hung around, laid low.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I was kind of still coming off that trip I was on, which we'll get into that a little bit later, but kind of just getting my life back in order and trying to remember what I do for a living. For being
check
gone.
water. You check water.
Yeah, I showed up and I was like, how do I? Oh yeah, right. And
there's got to be side note, there's got to be a ton of blue-green algae starting to pop up everywhere.
Oh, there's tons. Yeah. Yeah. People love that. Yeah. And then awesome. We put a bunch of lakes on slow no wake restriction right before 4th of July. People loved that. Loved it. We got a lot of really good emails about that. People
Did you get some good feedback?
Yeah, very positive all around.
Everybody was like, hey, thank you for protecting my shoreline so much. Appreciate that.
All positive. Not one negative thing was said. It was great. And came back to that. So that was cool. Let's see. Did a little kayak fishing. Fishing on Friday.
I will say, in regards to the no wakes, that was the highlight of my Sunday. Was we went to Lake Independence to fish around for a little bit, and I went there with Alyssa because I knew there was a no wake restriction.
Yeah.
So I went out there, dumped in, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm not going to get beat up today. I don't care what I get. Life's good. And everybody out there was being good for the most part. They're idling around, and every once in a while you'd see a speedboat get up for 10 seconds and run across the lake and then come down. And I'm like, come on, man. But nobody tubing or doing anything. But dude, sure as shit, we were going to load up, and 2 guys, they're backing a jet ski up with a freaking just souped up Jeep. That is not meant to be in the wild. It's meant to be driven in Minnetonka. You know, like everybody listening to this right now knows the people I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And they backed in the jet ski, and I was like, these guys have no idea what they're doing. And I think they're slightly 2 sheets to the wind right now. And that first guy just backed it up, and he was doing 50 miles an hour out of the prop wash hole. Like he just floored it and took off, and he just started ripping. Like he viewed all the no wake boats as obstacles. Like not as like avoid them, as like I'm gonna do donuts around all you. Like this is so cool. I got this little course out here now. And I was like, oh God, I'm leaving.
We had all the HOA Karens hitting up City Hall heavily. So they're like up in arms. Well, it was great. The one lady was asking if their entire HOA should submit individual complaints or if one was enough to the whole, like, you know, city.
So like I would like complaints of it being no wake or complaints of people breaking the no wake.
No, of it being no wake, because like how could you do this on 4th of July type of thing? Not like, oh, it's because like there's actually like rules for it and stuff. But
like we just got 9 inches of water last week, and everybody's docks are underwater.
Their take was the city government hates people having fun. That was the takeaway from their email. We were like, I can see how you got there.
Okay. Dude, God.
Yeah.
I just don't like it's just education also for a bunch of people. Like nobody listening to this podcast is necessarily just the general community who doesn't get the outdoors. I suppose most people that listen to this do enjoy the outdoors. But like Alyssa and I were driving by it, and I was explaining to her that it was no wake, and she was like, why? I'm like, well, the water's really high. I was like, people's docks are basically underwater. And we drove by people's docks that were somewhat underwater. And then we drove by one where all the boards are like thrown up and disheveled everywhere. She was like, why does that one look like that? I'm like, because a wake boat went by and it was no wake. And they'd made a wake. And she was like, oh, so that's what happens? I'm like, yeah. Like, wakes destroy boat docks if they're up to the level of them. She's like, oh, that makes sense then. So that's why, like, I don't understand why the HOA Karens would be complaining to you.
Because they can. It's literally their favorite thing.
You know what you should do next time is they complain about it and be like, oh, you know what? If your whole HOA wants it, you know what? Go do it. And just let them absolutely mangle all their own personal property over the weekend and go, so was it worth it?
And then they'll go, you should have told us not to do that. That's how it goes, dude. It's incredible.
I love it. All right. Oh, so anyway, sorry. Continue, and then we'll bring in our guest real quick.
Yeah. Well, no, I just did a little bit of yak fishing, whatever. Just did some bass, and then we just hung out, smoked a bunch of salmon the other day. That was good, and went to some fireworks and stuff. So,
dude, I've been wanting to get into that yak game a little bit. Living right next to the Mississippi River now, I drive over it all the time, and I'm like, I think it'd be fun to just go throw a popper, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah. Just go topwater gang the whole time.
Yeah,
you won't regret that. You got to. It's right there.
Yeah. I've been debating it.
Worth a shot. Yeah, we can get into more. We can get more some story time stuff a little later. Let's bring in our guest. Let's bring him.
All right. So we'll try to do our best, Sam Sobey, like bring him in introduction. But a young man in the fishing industry, I would say, someone who has followed around legend of the industry for a long time. He has made million view YouTube videos. I don't know how many viewed Discovery Channel episodes, but he's filmed those too. And he's also filmed Bassmaster Live, and now has recently gone out on his own adventure. And get to hear about a bit of it. And I'm sure he's crushing it as usual. My boy, McCoy Fisher. What's up, McCoy?
What up? Welcome to the pod.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude. So what you been up to now that you're off on your own?
I am actually currently at Matt Airy's house here in Shelby, North Carolina, about 45 minutes from where I live now in Charlotte. So we're filming a commercial tomorrow morning. So I just figured I'd stay here in his shop. He's got all these turkey mounts, and it's like, I don't know if I can move that over. He's got his boat and
that's dialed setup.
All the jerseys and everything. It's pretty sweet. So he's got a whole room back here that I stay in. So it's pretty nice.
That's dope. You gotta tell Ari I say hello. I haven't seen him in forever, but we all stayed. That's how McCoy and I actually got tight. We stayed together on the road for a while.
Nice. All right. So you're obviously posted up down there. Give us your last 48 hours.
Last 48 hours.
Yep.
Actually, I just recently purchased a Toyota Tundra, a 2025. So because I've had a truck in the past and then had some issues with it, had to get rid of it. So I got a Kia, and I was just like torn. I was like, I hate this thing. It's terrible. I can't go
like a
camping.
Kia car.
So literally, yeah, like a Kia car. And I was terrible. I can't pull a boat. I can't even take it off road. I literally tore the bumper off the thing. So I bit the bullet, bought a truck, and I've been up in the mountains for the past 2 days. Just got back down here, and we're gonna be shooting. So
heck yeah,
I'm chilling, hammocking. It's been good. So
that's
crazy.
Sweet. I love it, man.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, well, I guess we're gonna do a little rewind. So you and I met filming with Scott Martin, however many years ago. But before then, you had started in the industry. How did you get started as a person in this industry? Because it was with Scott, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. That was kind of how I broke into the industry per se. I'd kind of grown up. I'd say I was probably 16 years old, and I kind of got into like fishing pretty hard, like bass fishing. I didn't grow up bass fishing. I grew up fishing, but not like bass fishing specifically. And followed like the Guggen guys on YouTube. Really kind of wanted to do something like that. I loved cameras and started my own YouTube channel. Really never grew. I had a lot of fun doing it, but in doing that, I had the portfolio to pitch to Scott when the opportunity presented itself. And in December of 2019, he put up a post saying he was looking for someone. I just dropped out of college, so I was like, heck, I'll put my name in the basket and see what happens. And he emailed me right back, and like the next week I was down there. So it's basically ever since then it's been full on until this last January. So
yeah, it's crazy, dude. It's so crazy how fast that YouTube world moves too. Because you were just like, oh, whatever, I'll send my resume in, and like 5 days later, you were like, shit, I'm flying to Florida, and like I don't even know when I'm coming home now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's just kind of how I lived my life before, and still how I live my life is on a whim like that. So it didn't bother me at all. But
that's sweet.
It was good. Good while it lasted.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So then you go start working with Scott, and was that when Brandon was still there?
Yeah, he was just transitioning out.
So like, did you get any formal training?
Not really. I don't know if you watched the video, but the first video I filmed with Scott, he had that Bassmaster open on Harris chain, and he kind of just threw me into it. And I'm just gonna be real. I just used auto settings like on my camera, my A7R, and he throws me into this thing. And I mean, I kind of knew what I was doing, but not really, to be honest. And the first day, he made me back in the boat, and I'm jackknifing the thing because I'd never like backed in a 21-foot boat growing up in Pennsylvania. Nothing of a boat. I almost hit a game warden truck with the truck and boat. That would have been great. But I didn't really have any formal training, but a lot of YouTube, that kind of thing. Any question I had, it always got answered on that. So it was good.
I just can't remember. Imagine showing up for your first day of work and Scott's just like, here's the keys, back me in. And you're like, excuse me? I'm a camera guy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Probably. Oh, boy.
Yeah. So did that, like you said, you kind of were playing around on YouTube and stuff before, but like, did that being behind the camera and like on the creative side more, was that like, that was what kind of like lit your fire to be like, oh, I want to do this versus like making your own stuff?
Yeah. So it was probably like September of 2019. I actually started filming some of my friends and just short little like documentary style mini videos. And that's when I kind of clicked in my head. I was like, wow, I kind of like being behind the camera and producing it versus being in front of the camera as much. But I don't mind being in front of the camera. It's just like you said, I'd rather be behind the camera and producing it. So
heck yeah. That's sweet.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you started with Scott doing some Bassmaster. And then what, I guess, Bart, I guess you can take this wherever you want, but what was like, I mean, obviously you did that for a while, but what was that a stepping stone to like the next thing?
I guess what I really view working with Scott as was, and my grandma always says this, is like, I didn't go to college, so that was my college education. It was the 5 years I worked with Scott. So it was learning everything, learning how that whole world works. And then now I'm out on my own using those connections and the networking I did while I was with Scott, which is insanely valuable. I'll probably never realize how valuable it is. And just doing all the freelance now with those guys. So like Matt Airy, I'm doing some stuff with a company he sponsored with, and just people I've met just around. I've been doing a lot of stuff outside of that. So if that answers the question you asked, I hope it did.
No, for sure. Yeah. No, definitely.
I guess not to go too far forward into like what you're doing now, McCoy, but so when you're working with Scott, you're producing all of his YouTube videos and then also the saltwater videos and everything. And then if I remember correctly, I don't remember if you and I were at the same event, but all of a sudden Bassmaster's like, yo, can you do Bass Live? And you're like, what? Right? Is that kind of how it went down? Or how did your first day recording Bass Live going down?
Yeah, that was at Pickwick when it flooded that year. I think it was 21 or 22.
I think you got that because like I was at that event and it got delayed a day or two and I had to go home.
Right. That's what like all the camera guys, the main guys had to go home. Like they had flights and stuff and they couldn't stay. So Ronnie Moore calls me at like 8:30 that night and I'm ready to like drive back to Florida. I'm so excited. He's like, hey, can you run a live camera tomorrow? I'm like, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I'll try. So I gave it a shot and I guess I didn't screw it up too bad that they keep calling me to come back. So I got to do it with Brian Schmidt and that was really cool. It was kind of my first time being in the boat all day with another angler other than Scott and like Matt and Canterbury. So it was a good experience.
That would have I would still probably like I don't shoot as much for other people these days, but I still think like especially that because like you don't edit it after you're just a camera guy. Yeah. I think I would greatly enjoy filming that. Like I think it'd be super fun.
It is fun, but those cameras are really heavy.
That's what I heard. I've heard they're insane.
Yeah, they're pretty heavy, and there's like it like pinches into your shoulder at a certain point where I have a bruise every time I'm done, and it's kind of brutal. They're not the best cameras, but it is what it is.
So how many events have you done live for now?
I think 4 or 5. I did one this year. I was at the Sabine for the Elite. That was terrible. I hate that place. I was literally filming dogs the entire day on the last day because we weren't catching anything.
Who are you with?
Dogs and chickens. I was with Justin Hamner.
Okay.
So
at least he's
fun.
It
was entertaining. Yeah. He was like talking crap on some dads to their kids and stuff on a dock at a restaurant. He didn't realize he was live either. I wonder if that's in the archives. But he was saying like his dad was ugly or something like that. It was kind of weird. But yeah, actually I'm going up to the St. Lawrence for the Open. So that's one I'm not really looking forward to just because of the Lake Ontario scene.
Well, and you know they're going to take you out there no matter what.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because where are they going out of? Waddington?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up, but I believe I can figure that out real quick.
At least they'll be catching, though.
Yeah, that's true. And it's nice because it's a 2-hour run there if it is in Waddington. So it's 4 hours less of filming a day, which I'm actually happy at.
He's already mapping it out. Like,
yeah, I got it all planned out.
I was gonna say, do you bring headphones or anything for like if one of the guys looks at you and is like, dude, we're running 2 hours? Like, do you just sit there and just run for 2 hours? Because I feel like at some point in time, you gotta like, dude, the hum of the motor and the breeze, you just like gotta get tired and be like, I'm gonna fall out of this boat right now. I've also seen you fall asleep passenger in a boat before, so that's why I bring this up.
Yeah, I So usually you have to have, I bring 2 sets of AirPods because you have to have one in an ear at all times because the producers are in the ear and they're like telling you, hey, we're going live, that kind of thing. So you're on a phone call, so you just switch them out. So I guess I could end that phone call and just while we're running, just do that. I've never really thought about doing that, honestly. It's a good idea.
just call back in.
Yeah.
They're like, where were you? Be like, bro, we just ran 95 miles.
Be like, don't worry, you didn't miss anything.
Nothing happened.
That's a crazy place. We the last time we were up there, I guess it was last year with Scott. I was in the boat with him one day when we ran all the way to the lake from Waddington. That's a heck of a run, but the wind was good that day, so it wasn't that bad in the river. So we got there pretty quick. I mean, it was an hour and a half, but it didn't feel like forever, which was nice.
That's such a long boat ride. So what's your favorite place when you filmed Bass Live that you've been at?
I gotta kind of go through all the places that I've been. Leech Lake was pretty cool. That was
you didn't get in my boat. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I know. You were
texting me and I was like, if I would have caught the fish I lost at the end of day one, I would have had a camera.
Yeah. But it was a 2-day derby, wasn't it?
So it only ended up being 2.
It's kind of weird. Everyone fished on the last day.
Yes. Yeah. It's a cool place though. Very beautiful. Who are you with?
Austin Cranford.
You were with Cranford. That's right.
Yeah. So I probably have to say there. I don't really like the Harris chain. Pickwick was all right that year. Being absolutely not. I think that's all I've done. So I'd have to say Leech.
Okay.
That was a really cool fishery.
Yeah.
We were actually catching them on trampolines, which was maybe secret, but
it was until he exposed it. Yeah.
Now for those guys that are going this year.
It is, yeah. No, it was a little sneaky thing, but yeah, he figured that out in practice.
You might have to cut that episode.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. But okay, so then when you were filming with Scott though, so we'll go through a couple different things here, but when you were filming the Elite Series with Scott, or like even that Open Series, like what was your favorite memory or like something you take from there? Like where was your favorite place going, or one that like sticks out to you? Because there's got to be something.
Champlain was always a cool spot to go. Just it's gorgeous up there in the Adirondacks, and you can catch big largemouth there and big smallmouth, and I just loved that area. An experience that was good. I'll tell you an experience that was really bad is when
those are way better.
I decided to buy this, like, I don't even know what the Scoville units on it was, but it was hot sauce. You might have been at one of the houses. You
guys kept doing the house tricks.
Yeah. I put it in Matt's crackers and ended up eating one.
Was that at Knoxville?
Yeah, it was. Because he was.
Yeah, I was there. That was when Gusty won. That was a bad week for you and Ari.
Yeah. It was those are also like some of my favorite experiences, was like the fun we had in the house. We always had a good time. I
just remember that one. Scott looked at us and he was like, we're not going to catch anything, so you guys need to go into town and like do something fun for the vlog. So we just like walked around town and went to restaurants and random gift shops and like
I completely forgot.
Just random stuff, because Scott was like, I'm not catching anything right
now. It was tough that week. That's the one that Gussie won. But yeah. Man, I hate when people put me on the spot about
no, you're good. Don't worry about it.
There were so many in that 5 years.
So so there's obviously Scott's hired new guys. There's new guys getting hired to the Elite Series to film videos and stuff all the time. I keep hearing from all the guys now that like, dude, back in the day when I was filming with you, there was like 4 of us flying a drone at takeoff. I've heard that it's just like rough now. Like you want to fly a drone and you're trying not to hit a drone is basically the way it is.
Especially at the Classic is the worst. There's at least 20 drones in the air. And it's like you're losing signal, you're crossing signals. It was the worst. But yeah, it has gotten bad these last few years. And I don't know if they're going to do anything about it. Probably not. Unless they actually require everyone to have a Part 107, which hopefully they would. But it's gotten pretty bad. It's cool to see all the different guys though, because we were all kind of a tight-knit group at the end, like at the end for me at least. And we would go out like to a bar, one of the events, and just kind of hang out as camera guys. We did that a few times. There was never any like competition, which was really cool.
Yeah, because when I was there, I think it was like you, me, Kyle, Zaldane had
Johnny back then.
No, it was before Johnny. Mac.
Oh, really? Oh, Mac Green. Yeah.
Yeah, he had Mac and then Johnny, and then was Logan filming the cut line, Drew and Drew?
Yep. Yeah, Logan was doing that. So,
but I guess was that it? Was that us?
I think that was it. Yeah.
And that was only like 4 years ago, dude. 4 or 5 years ago.
To see where it's at now it's like it feels like everyone has one. Everyone has a channel. I mean, you have to at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like at this point in the game, everybody's like, if you're not, you're way behind.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So with that in mind, kind of what I was going to get into at this, because you filmed so many different creative pieces now, whether it's like corporate commercials, Discovery Channel shows, going to the Amazon, Bassmaster Elite tournaments, you name it. Like, say there's a kid out there who's in high school and he's about to get hired as an intern or for one of these summer jobs, to like go do that with an elite guy for experience. Like, what's some maybe 3-piece words of advice or pieces of advice you can give them as like, hey, this is the way you can run with it? Because my thing was always like, to touch into it a bit, is I feel like especially now there's a lot of kids who are getting experience younger and they like want to go get there and get paid a ton of money. And it's like, dude, that's not a get paid a ton of money job. That's a network, get a ton of cool experiences and meet a ton of cool people job. And if you go into it with that mindset, like, you're going to have a much better time. But I don't know, I'm curious what you think, McCoy.
Yeah, that job was like much more valuable, like I said earlier, than the money I got paid. And I ended up getting paid pretty well because I took on the TV side of things. But for new guys coming in, I would say work ethic is everything in that industry, especially. And I'm sure it is just in general. But I was never afraid to kind of go above and beyond and try and expand what I knew and what we could do with the videos. And just be ready for the grind. It's a grind. Sometimes it's not fun, long hours, long drives, but at the end of the day, it's the experiences you take from it and what you learn. And like you guys said, the connections you make is the most valuable thing for sure.
Yeah. And I think so you would appreciate this, because I think I learned this on the road with like you and Scott, was I always tell our new, like, whenever we have a new guy for the Chronicles or the Champions Tour, any of the stuff I do now, I always tell them the best piece of advice, like, if you're a camera guy, right, your only job is recording people, not necessarily say like when Sobe and I are self-vlogging or something like that's a little different. But when you are recording people, the best piece of advice I can always give you is if they say, hey, I'm getting up at 5:30, you should be ready to hit the record button at 5:15, and you should already be going around and getting stuff. Yeah. Because there's plenty of stuff you can go get. Always be 15 minutes early. And then when they roll out of bed, if you're chilling there already doing stuff, you already kicked the day off on a great note and they're pumped, right?
Mm-hmm. Plus, for the guys that they're shooting, you're like, oh, this is sick. This dude's like ready to rumble.
Right. It sets the tone. Yeah. Scott was always huge on that. Now, I was pretty good at doing that, getting up and kind of getting my stuff done. But come day 3 or 4 of the tournament, or I mean, heck, it was kind of tough. Once you're on the road for 2 weeks in a row, it was tough to get up earlier.
Well, especially when like you were trying to turn around edits at the Airbnbs too, and like they go to bed at 10 and you're like, I'm editing until 1:30 and then I have to be up at 4.
Yeah. I never realized how crazy that was, honestly, until like people started telling me, they're like, how are you getting these videos done so quick? And I'm like, I just go back to the house during practice and edit. And I just sit down and edit. I don't know why, but I can sit down at my computer for 16 hours and just edit straight. And like, I won't eat a thing. I won't. It's so weird.
That's disgusting.
You and I have that same trait. Except you can do it on the road. I have to be at my house.
I almost do it better in the truck, like in the passenger seat for some reason.
I greatly enjoy the truck passenger seat as well.
Other than when the sun's coming in, that kind of messes me up. I'll have to put on my sunglasses or something to see the screen.
Yes, that part gets weird. But yeah, for some reason, riding in a car, you can edit really well. But yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, wake up 15 minutes early. I think that's a huge thing. And like, I always say too, just make sure you record everything because everybody sees the same damn tournament videos, dude.
Right.
Everybody just wants to see what's going on behind the scenes.
Right. And that's where it kind of got for me near the end, and why I kind of ended up stepping away is I kind of plateaued. Everyone was doing the same videos. We weren't making them different in a way. There was no really way to make them different in at least our circumstance. Now, other guys like Lee Livesey and Polinick and stuff, like they figured out a way to make them different, but I had a hard time doing something different, if that makes any sense.
No, it makes sense. Yeah.
And just creatively, I plateaued. I was kind of burnt out on the fishing deal, and I think it's just a natural thing. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, getting away from the Elite Series side, you filmed a ton of Discovery. So, what's the difference between filming a YouTube show and a Discovery Channel TV show?
A lot. I mean, a lot, but not a lot. It's kind of a mixed answer. Like the camera rigs are the same. Other than like we use the FX6 for the TV, so we have pre-record. So I always have to have it on my shoulder, just like Bass Live, to kind of catch everything naturally. They're mic'd up, which is a little different. The structure mainly is way different. We've kind of transitioned Scott's show from like TV interview kind of style, like that driving the storyline, to more the YouTube style where he drives the storyline in the show, which is kind of unique. I feel like instead of doing interviews, we kind of cut those out completely. But just the structure of it is totally different. And knowing that you have to fill 22 minutes of content. So you only need like 6 or 7 fish, but they have to be good ones. So it's like, which fish do you play up? It's kind of a interesting thing. But
yeah.
If that answers your question.
Are you totally shooting that yourself, or do you have other shooters for that?
I'll usually shoot on the boat with Scott and whoever he's with, and then we'll have another boat with like another camera guy shooting a cross shot, basically, just for a cutaway angle. And then we'll have GoPros on the boat as well to kind of use as cutaways. So if like I'm moving or something like that.
Oh yeah. By the way, I got a beef to pick with you with GoPros and DJI
with GoPros.
Cams.
Oh,
you don't like the DJI?
No, I do like it. However, Pink was the first witness to this. So
this was funny as hell.
So
so funny
in a film series that is to come out in October this year. So for everybody listening, that's a little teaser for you. You'll get this. Pink and I are we are in bumfuck, like just gone, and it is -20 outside, like -40 wind chills. Like we probably shouldn't have been out, but we were out because we had a group of us.
Dangerously cold.
It was dangerously cold. Like we were fishing in ice houses, and we never fish in ice houses. So we get out, and like I have these DJI cams, and I haven't really messed with them yet because like GoPro 9s are really good in the winter. Like no problems with them at all when they're hard packed and everything. But we get to this house, and I had that DJI Action 4.
Wait. And before, let me just my perspective of this, because Bart was so hyped that he just got this thing.
Yeah, because it's cool. They're super cool cameras.
And he's like, yeah, dude, I was talking to McCoy, and he's like, these things are legit. And I was like, okay, like, I guess we could try, let's try them out kind of thing. And you're like, we're bringing them tomorrow. And I was like, sick. Okay, cool. And like, because you're like, oh, they've been using them on all this stuff, and they like work so good. I was like,
well, they record like 4K 60, like they're legit.
He was
and like
very
the audio
excited.
is very good.
Yeah.
And so we unpack it, and I literally told him, I'm like, McCoy said the best part is they never overheat. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah, apparently they never overheat, never get cold, whatever.
Like,
we set
awesome.
it. Yeah, we're like, sick. Mind you, it is -20. And we are in a ice house with the heater on, but like it doesn't get hot.
Well,
like
it's
it
like
gets
a
to
cloth shack. Like,
it's a cloth shack with a breeze through it. Like, yeah, it gets up to 40 degrees and we feel like it's 90, but it's not.
Yeah.
And we put that camera up in the front right corner, and what, Pink? It ran for all of 7 minutes before it started screaming overheating.
Overheating?
If that. Yeah. Like all these warnings came on.
I wonder if like the heat rose. I wonder if all the heat was going up.
Well, it was, but there's vents up there. It's
it was
-20.
That's crazy.
It was so fun. It was like the first day you used them was like, these are going to be legit. But up there 5 minutes, and it was like, beep, 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 like all this stuff. We're like, what is going on, dude?
Yeah. And it literally says overheating, shutting down. And I handed it to our camera guy, Luke, and I was like, well, that was a fucking lie.
So you like, use 100% now?
No, I've been using them on my boat a bunch, actually, and I use them in the Champions Tour too. I really like them.
They are cool.
Yeah, but they do like. I was out in Wisconsin the other week rolling one, and they started overheating. But like they'll still go, but it turns the screen off.
Yeah, yes. They do. They physically do get really hot.
They get insanely hot, dude. Like physically, like you try to open it to pull a battery out, like if you're going externals, and you're like, this sucker is warm.
Yeah. Yeah, I've burned myself on the lens a few times. Like, oh
Jesus.
No, they get hot.
Yeah.
But they run, the picture is so good.
You think it's way better?
I think it's better than GoPro, yeah. But I also never had as many issues with GoPros as other guys did. I know, like, in a boat and stuff, like, you had issues with them on boats, but...
Yeah, when Scott was having to deal with, like, 3 GoPros on a boat, like, one would go down and then the other one would go down. It seemed like it was just always a thing. And once we started running DJIs, we just kind of tested it. And he had no issues. So he's like, we're never going back. So...
Well, and those mics, you can just connect them to the GoPro then, and it makes it super easy too.
Yeah. Do you have the 5s at all, or just?
I just have the 4s right now. I haven't bought a 5 yet. I was telling the guys I might transition. We have all the GoPro 9s for the Chronicles, and I might still use them, but I might go all to DJIs just because I think I could pair mics to all of them. And then everybody would be mic'd up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be a big jump.
Yeah, which would be huge. And especially like if say it's a trip, Pink, where there's only 2 of us out.
Right.
Then it's super easy. Like then it's mega easy. Like Luke can literally flip between if we're connected to the transmitter that's on his camera or the GoPro via his phone. Like he can just literally flip it.
Yeah. No, I get you.
So it'd be like super legit. They're cool like that. That's a random side tangent of camera equipment for everybody. But yeah, I was like,
well, anyway, there was a 5-minute conversation that existed that we were like, McCoy's full of shit.
I was like,
I'm glad I'm hearing this now. I didn't get a phone call on the ice.
Well, I couldn't have called you from there because once again, we had a Garmin InReach with us because we were so far out of cell service. I should have just texted him, Pink.
On an InReach?
How funny would it have been if I would have texted him off an InReach?
Some random sat phone number. It would have been like, we hate you.
Fuck you, McCoy. DJIs do overheat. He'd just be like, what
the hell? What is this?
It would have bugged him for like a year. He would have been like, I have no idea who just sent this.
It would have bugged me so bad. I'd have had to like post it on my Instagram story and be like, who is this?
And the best part is it would have vanished in 24 hours and I never would have seen it. So you never would have found out who it was.
Oh yeah, that would have bugged me so bad.
Oh no. Okay. Anyways, getting back on track, but filming the TV shows and everything. Do you guys ever do international stuff for that, or is it always US mainly?
We have, like, when we went to Brazil, we kind of did a conglomeration show of like the 9 days we were there. It was just like a highlights of it. We were in Portugal 2 years ago. I don't think we shot a TV show there. I don't know why we don't. Well, I'll tell you why. Is the main reason is he has to be in a skeeter in the show. So if, they don't really have skeeters in Portugal or Italy or like this year we're going to South Africa. Like they've got like the catamaran haul boats. That's pretty much all they have apparently. So I wish we would have shot some TV shows over there, but those trips in themselves were amazing. Just seeing the culture over there and just being able to travel to Europe was super cool.
Hell yeah. No, that's a killer experience just to like be there to see it and document it a little bit.
Well, and that's the one thing that Scott has kept going that we've talked about frequently on this podcast, but I miss about YouTube was like the international travel and just like experiencing other fishing than bass fishing. Like that was one thing I loved that kind of the Guggen squad did, Sobe did, and Jay Siemens has done and stuff like that of just like there's so much out there. And just going and filming it at a really high level is super cool. So yeah, I'm sure. Like, what did you all did? Portugal, Brazil, what else?
Italy,
all the bass championships, right?
Yeah, it was for those bass championships. Like the Portugal was a championship. Italy last year was a championship. We just did Mexico.
Did you film Panger with that one?
Yeah, I wasn't in the boat with Panger. We had the new camera guy with Scott Corbin, and he's like. He was in the boat for practice with Panger, and he's like, "This." He came back to the room. He's like, "This dude is insane, like clinically insane."
Oh yeah.
Like I watched all the GoPro footage because I edited that. Some of the stuff he says is just off the wall.
Yeah,
and we'll just say with a straight face too.
His ADD level is so high.
Yeah, dude, he caught some giants down there, like.
Yeah.
I think the one on the last day was like 10-pounder. He caught a 7 like right after it. Mexico was special.
Yeah, I want to go down there, Bab. But okay, so obviously, sorry. Were you with Sobe when he caught that giant bull red with Scott?
No, that must.
Did you ever hear about that though?
I think I watched the video, whether it was Scott's or it was like Perrick's. It must have been Perrick's.
Because that was Louisiana, right?
Yeah, it was the Louisiana Delta. It was like Sobe. I don't know if he had just started filming with Perrick or something, but like Scott let him cast, and he caught like it was like I think it was a 40-something incher. Like it was a giant bull red.
Jeez, yeah. No, I wasn't there, but we did go down there early 2020, and that place is cool. It's hot down there, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I would imagine. Is it as hot as Eufaula, Alabama in July?
Probably pretty close.
Yeah, without a breath of wind.
Down there too.
Yeah, no wind. Somehow there's never any wind in that town.
That's crazy. I've never been to Eufaula, actually.
You haven't? Oh, I suppose.
Somehow I avoided Eufaula.
Yeah. Look at you. You're driven everywhere else.
Bart loves that place.
I do. I enjoy Eufaula. What is at a
well in that tournament, didn't you?
Huh?
Didn't you finish pretty well in that tournament? You fished there?
I did okay in one, not that great. But I filmed. That's where I first filmed Carl. I filmed Carl for the Elite Series right after the COVID postponement. That was like the first gig I had as a videographer, and I had no clue what I was doing. Pretty huge. Yeah. But I only had to worry about Mac flying a drone when I took off too, because me and Kyle were the only ones there.
And Kyle, I never saw Kyle flying a drone, which was crazy, but he'd always get drone shots. And Mac was a little crazy with the drone. I do remember that. Mac
got experimental. Yeah, he buzzed. He buzzed people big time. He got like between the blades of 10-foot power poles.
Jesus.
Yeah, like he was close.
He was working with us a little bit. We were at Mississippi River. He had just bought this DJI. It was the FPV drone. It was that big black one. And he was so excited. He was flying it. He was flying it right behind this boat. And I guess there's an air pocket behind the boat that it caught and just went straight into the water. Lost it. Like a $1,200 drone just down the drain. I've never seen a kid almost cry.
That's brutal.
That's crazy. So are you doing any FPV stuff? Or are you still just regular drone in it?
I've experimented with it, but not to the extent I would like to. Scott had bought one right when it came out. And
I remember you doing all the demo flights and you hated it.
Yeah. I honestly kind of got a little like seasick in there, like motion sickness. So I don't know.
Just from like having the goggles on and stuff or what?
Yeah, it was super weird. I could never really get it down. I really just didn't spend enough time on it is what it was, I think. And that was one thing that I never had enough of. It was time working with Scott. We're always on the go, and that kind of led to me leaving it as well. Just I wanted to have some more free time, be able to travel a little more, and obviously make a little more money too.
Yeah. So transitioning into that, like, so what are you doing now? And obviously you talked a little bit. So you kind of had left that behind because you viewed it as a college experience. Mm-hmm. Are you still doing the TV stuff or no?
As far as I know, we haven't been filming it yet. But I've been editing and filming I've been editing the show for the last 3 seasons. So I'd assume he'd have me still at least do that. Whether our schedules line up to film, that's another story. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I am. And okay. I think I'm going to take over Roland's show this year as well. We have talked about doing that.
Gotcha. Okay. So with that, like, obviously you're still working with them. Everything's good there. But like, you know, it kind of brought you to wanting to do your own, spend time for yourself and doing kind of what you want to do. So what are you doing now? Like, what's the goal? What's the next year look like? Next 5 years look like for McCoy Fisher?
So my goal initially when I started the freelance kind of journey is I was like, in 2025, I want to work in 5 different industries just because I wanted to branch out. And just through my connections, I've worked in a little bit in NASCAR. I'm actually headed out next week to a track out in California called Laguna Seca to film some of their social content. I just had some mutual connections out there. I've done some country music just recently, and I've got some things coming down the pipeline with that. I don't know what else. I mean, I've filmed for like a alcoholic beverage company. That's kind of interesting to learn that whole world, like working events with them and just filming. But that's kind of how I've been taking up my time, really. And it's honestly been really good. I'm pretty happy with the amount of money I've made so far this year. And
yeah, I would imagine. So you get away from fishing and it gets so much better, so faster. It's crazy.
I realize is there's just not a lot of money. Oh, sorry. You kind of cut out there and I talked.
You're good. You're back now. Maybe.
Matt Harry needs better internet. It's unreal.
I know.
You're back now.
North Carolina. That's terrible. I think you know.
I think we got you back now.
Good? Okay. Cool.
Yeah, now we're good.
What was the okay.
Oh, maybe we don't.
Maybe not.
McCoy, just leave and come back.
Do it. It works.
It does.
He's frozen. Okay, they're good.
He's super frozen. He just needs to leave and come back.
He goes backstage, dude. Unreal.
I'll text him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's doing some cool stuff though, dude.
Yeah, I want to hear about this new stuff because it's like the fishing industry is awesome, but it's like, dude, that's the constant thing ticking at the back of your head is like, God, if I just went outside this industry,
like what else? Yeah, what could
I could make so much more money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, there's just those companies are so much bigger. It's crazy, but yeah, like he's saying, like, I mean, that's a bold strategy though. Be like, I want to be in 5 industries in one. Oh, wait, is he kind of back? He's dubbed up.
All right, we got you now.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Unreal. I actually switched to my hotspot because his Wi-Fi is terrible.
Yeah, no, you're great now. You were kind of like cutting out a little bit. You're like crystal clear.
Yeah, I didn't even have enough service to use a hotspot out here, but we are.
Yeah, you're good.
What was the last thing that you heard me say?
Because you were talking about kind of the new gigs you're doing and stuff, and I had said, I'm like, yeah, it's crazy when you get out of the fishing industry how much more money there actually is.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. There's you realize there's not a lot of money to go around in the fishing industry unless you're working brand side of things for some bigger brands. They have the marketing budgets there to kind of do that, but the YouTube game is not where it's at for me at this point.
Well, and also I would say too, I mean, you've seen it from a top end, Scott's a top end YouTuber. It works for Scott, but once you start having to pay other hands and split it around and everything, there's not actually that much to go around. Oh, did we lose him again? No, he's back. Kind of.
But it's not great now.
Oh, McCoy.
Kind of.
Good thing you're a good cameraman. My God.
I'm so sorry.
You're good. Don't worry about it. But yeah, so okay, so you got a bunch of new stuff coming this year. Is that the goal, just to kind of, I guess, work in a bunch of different industries? You're not necessarily just going to be in the fishing industry and just kind of go do your thing?
Yeah, just expand to different industries, make connections in those industries, and just kind of build my business around that, and then maybe niche down into something else later. But I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of rolling with the punches at this point and just experiencing, traveling. So
that's sweet. So do you have a home base right now, or where are you living at?
Yeah, I have an apartment here in Charlotte, which I don't even know why I have. I should have just moved in with my parents, to be honest, because I'm never at my apartment. And I'm paying $1,700 a month for that thing. But yeah, I have a home base here. It's nice to have. Don't get me wrong, but I'm never home.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah. I feel
which is
that.
a good problem to have, I guess.
Very good problem to have. So do you see yourself with your new venture? Are you filming a lot of stuff and just giving it to people for them to edit? Or are you editing a lot of stuff for people, or kind of is it a combo, or what do you got going on?
So anything I film, pretty much I'll edit, but I have been getting a lot of gigs recently where they're just going to send me the footage and say hey, edit this TV show. It's okay, cool. Or edit this little documentary ad kind of deal, and I'd send that out the door. So I've kind of leaned into the editing side of things. I've always loved editing. So that's maybe where I'm going to push my business here in the next little bit. I just got that truck. I want to build I put a rack on it and put a tent on it and get a Starlink and just be able to hit the road and just have people send me footage and just edit on the road. Just be nowhere Montana, just editing. I feel like it'd be the coolest.
That'd be dope.
Not in the winter though. Not in the winter.
Well, you wouldn't have to. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
I did at one point reach out to McCoy about leaving Scott for a little bit one winter and coming and filming the Chronicles.
I do remember that. I just don't think it lined up or something.
I don't think it lined up. I think you guys had to go on one of your international trips.
Yeah.
It would have been awesome to get his perspective as a guy who does not film ice fishing, though, filming ice fishing.
Yeah. I've literally never ice fished.
Oh, you'd hate it. Yeah.
I'm getting so excited over a little bluegill. This is dumb, but I'm sure it's fun to do.
Well, it's its own niche, just like you've seen. And I mean, you got exposed to the saltwater world, which I think Pink is probably mega jealous of, because that's just a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
When you do that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's got to be cool to at least be out, at least getting to experience some of those really good bites too, when it's going down and you're really finding some cool stuff offshore. But yeah,
I will say that one of the coolest experiences, going back to that earlier question, was we caught, it was probably 2 months into my stint with Scott. So at this point I had no idea really what I was doing still, and we went out on his new 42 Freeman and ended up catching 76 sailfish in one day.
Holy shit. Out of Florida?
We set a Florida Keys record. And
holy shit.
We were 8 away from breaking the world record of Atlantic sales. because Pacific sales are totally different. They catch a ton of those down in like Costa Rica, Guatemala, but
where they get like 100 shots a day or something.
Yeah,
stupid.
it's crazy down there, but that was an unreal experience. Like still to this day, it's like one of those memories that I'm like, damn, that was cool. That was cool.
Yeah, I bet. Damn. Sick.
Well, and now you got a whole new world coming to you.
Yeah.
That's gonna be crazy. We got to have him on in like a year and be like, all right, so what alcohol companies have you? Yeah, yeah. What have you filmed for? How many musicians? You've been out in California? What's going on now?
And he'll be like, still got the apartment in Charlotte.
Oh, he definitely froze again.
That's
too,
right.
so
He's
that's
frozen, so he can't defend himself. It's better that way.
All right, whenever he gets back, we'll let him have his final parting words, and then Pink and I will take it the rest of the way here. But he is so frozen, and it is so funny. It's like the perfect McCoy face, too.
Is that going to be the thumbnail right there?
I don't know. You could probably use that in whatever thumbnail image we need. I'll just screenshot it for you right now so you have it.
Oh, my God.
Here we go.
I'm just pumped for once it's not my Wi-Fi. So, hey.
Yeah, I know. What a change of pace.
I'm just soaking this up, really. This is.
I'm gonna text him the screenshot right now. He's gonna be so disheveled.
Be like, leave and come back, brother. Come on. Oh my God!
I just sent him the picture. Yeah, there he goes. All right,
we got movement.
Hey,
there he is.
I just sent you a text of the way you looked for the last 2 minutes. All right, so we'll let you get back to her so you can go film whatever you got to film with Ari. But you got any parting words for the people at Pass the Barb?
I don't know. What am I supposed to say?
No.
Well, that's really that was the question, really, to you. You can say whatever you want.
I appreciate you guys having me on. It was fun. Ryan, it was great to meet you. Hopefully one day I'll get to meet you in person. Maybe I'll come up and ice fish at some point.
Yeah, now that you maybe have a little more free time, McCoy, maybe we'll be able to finally do a project together like we talked about. I think that's like something I want to do more of is like get together with all the dudes I've filmed with over the years and be like, okay, let's go fish here for fun and we'll film it. And it's going to turn out really cool because we're just going to be having fun and not like, I need to film this. I need to get this. I need to get that.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah. So. All right, dude. Well, we'll let you get to her. Tell Ari we say hello. Oh, we'll have him on the pod one of these days.
Yeah.
He'll drink his 2 IPAs and go to bed.
Yeah. At 8:30. You better have the podcast at like 6:30 Eastern.
Yeah.
By 8.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? All right. See you, McCoy.
All right. See you.
Thanks, man.
All right. Dope. All right. That was a good one. Had a couple little intermissions in there because of Wi-Fi issues, but
what's new?
Yeah, chatting with good old McCoy. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Just like we were talking about at the beginning there, 4 or 5 years ago, gets hired by Scott Martin, and now goes off, does his own thing, and crush it.
Well, like we've talked about so many times on here, it's like it's shocking to see how far a lot of this outdoor media stuff has come in the past 5 years, and like all these guys that were just kind of starting out that are really hitting their stride, like deep in the industry right now and like doing some really cool stuff. So it'll be cool to, we'll have to have him back on after he's kind of landed a whole bunch of these projects that he's doing and see what he ended up doing. But
yeah, man. Well, and there's so much space in the outdoor industry right now for people who want to work in it. Kind of like McCoy said, like, depending where you want to make your money, there is places to be. But kind of like he said, just you got to pick your spots, and there is no better gig in the world to learn out of college, in my opinion, or out of high school or whenever you want to go, is go follow an Elite Series pro for a couple of years. You'll learn hard work ethic. You'll learn long hours. You'll learn working way more than you're paid to, which will ultimately get you to being very successful in the industry.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, I mean, you kind of have to hit the ground running. It's not like you're not getting eased into it. If you do something like that, you're just all in right now.
Yeah. You don't show up to like day one launch and they're like, all right, so we're going to train you now. They're like, I'm going to try to win $100,000 so I can
figure it out.
Yeah. You better film this correctly. My sponsors rely on this. And you only have 9 opportunities to do it because we have 9 tournaments this year. That's it.
Right.
But yeah, man, always cool catching up with McCoy. God, we could have him on to talk millions upon millions of story.
We will. We'll have him back. We'll have him back for sure
when he's got better Wi-Fi. But he said he could swing by tonight to kind of help us out since, had a little bit of a short deck. But all right, Pink, it is the time of year, so I think we'll do this. We'll dive into your fishing story next, but do a little geared up iCast version.
I like it. Right around the corner. I think it's next week, actually.
Yeah, and if you can fill the time here while I make sure I do this share screen correctly, I'm going to bring up some stuff for everybody to see right now.
Yeah, so this will be cool. Did you go last year? Were you at iCast last year?
I was for the Niku Plastics
we kind of talked about it and whatever, and iCast is such a cool thing. Like, I think a lot of people just see like what we're about to show you, kind of these like previews and then maybe some videos of people that are there. But it's like iCast is such a cool, or I should say interesting event, because it's like, it's an industry show, but it's like not open to the public. I mean, it's like
no, it's all the buyers and media, and also it's not just bass fishing. So like I have the Bassmaster site up right now because it's the only article I could find of stuff that's actually published that's being released. A lot more will be coming out in the coming days and next week, but it is all fishing. Like you go there and it is all fishing.
Like all facets of like saltwater fishing, every corner of freshwater fishing. I mean, I even think there's quite a few international companies at this thing that show up with all kinds of new tackle, new equipment, new everything related that revolves around fishing. And it's just like basically the biggest fishing industry trade show that exists. Which I think is super cool. And then like, obviously there's some awards that they associate with like best in category of certain things. But I think I've never actually attended this, but I think sometime it would be fun to just see it go down. I don't know. I guess you were there, so I guess you can kind of give your opinion on that. But
I mean, it's very interesting, especially if you're used to being at sports shows. Right. Because you're used to consumers coming up to you and asking you questions, but like there, it's all these buyers and media and everything. So like most of the people there feel like they know each other somewhat, but like if you're new, a lot of people are very willing to come up to you and just talk to you. And they're like, oh, what do you like? It is an insanely good networking area. I know, like we talked about with Pass the Barb and everything, we're like, man, we should probably really go to iCast to chat with potential advertisers. So there's a free plug for everyone too. We do have media kits and everything ready for if you want to be an advertiser on Pass the Barb, we are open. Hit us up and we will make it happen. But anyways, yeah, there's a lot of networking and stuff that goes on there. And this is kind of like, as crazy as it is, it's 2025 iCast, but this is the official kickoff of the marketing for 2026.
Right. Yeah. Like all of the wheels are in motion now for like retailers and industry partners to be like, this is the stuff that's legit for this next year.
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, which is crazy. But all right, I got a website up of some new products. Pink and I have not looked through this. So could be bad podcasting, could be good podcasting. We are now going to roll through this website and kind of go through some stuff. I'm not going to go through everything unless it really catches me, but
yeah, I say we'll hit the brakes if we see something kind of unique or interesting. But this is just on the Bassmaster website, so I don't foresee this being anything other than bass tackle that people are
for the most part. I will say with this, I have seen this Booyah Flashpoint jerkbait before. Once again, forward-facing sonar, you can see it better. It has a flash on the top of it, so when you jerk it, it like really throws off.
Interesting.
Some shine and pike are going to mutilate it.
Beautiful.
Rolling through, there was one. Okay, so I wanted to get to this, Pink. I figured you would like this. So I saw this posted today, and I was like, I am very excited about this. This is a bass bait made. It's a Rapala Claptail 110. I am extremely intrigued by this. I'm going to get some.
Okay, so this is like a hybrid tail prop bait with kind of like the
this reminds me of musky top waters.
Yeah, it's like a musky flap tail combined with a tail spinning prop bait. and I'm sure it clanks like a mofo.
I've seen a video or two. It is very, very, very loud. It's like,
is that a blade on top or just a clacker, like a little stick?
It
looks like a
no,
blade.
no. It's a blade. It's like, I don't know
like
if it's a Colorado blade or not, but it's a blade.
So this is like a and it's got a metal tail, unlike like a Whopper Plopper or what was that Bert, the Chapo or whatever.
Exactly.
Like
it's dude, I'm excited about it. I think it's gonna be really good. And it's a 110 size, which is perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, to your point. Gonna get bit off though. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah, Muskies and Pike are gonna love it, but I really think it could be an insane topwater for smallmouth and largemouth.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's a good bait, especially. I mean, I love the color it's in, but if they made a black one, whoo.
Yes, exactly. But I think like you see so much knockoffs and stuff in iCast, and we're gonna see a bunch of them now from different companies. But I saw this and I was like, okay, this is like cool spin on. Obviously, everyone's seen Whopper Ploppers and other stuff, but like I've seen this type of topwater in the muskie world for a long time.
Yep.
And I've never thought of it for bass fishing, but they get nuked muskie fishing.
Yeah, I mean the clanking aspect of it is cool. Like that's a very unique sound in fishing, I think.
Barapala coming out with the DT12. I think, I mean, I'm happy about it. Just crankbaits. Crankbaits are going to make a comeback here. People have been listening to other podcasts or not. The minnow game is getting tough because they have seen a lot of minnows. So they're starting to now relate more to the bottom. You're going to have to get them to react more. Crankbaits.
I do think it's so sick though, because like the DT series has been around forever. And it's like that they're still building on it is kind of badass.
And dude, it's one of the best crankbait series ever made. Like it's just
still
they
wood,
catch
which I think is
so
cool.
Good.
Yeah.
I was intrigued by this Snare 50. I would have to read more through it to know more. But yeah, it's a
belly
lipless
weighted
from Rapala.
Belly weighted. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, they haven't made like a rattle trap. It's very small.
2.25 inches.
Yeah, it's a size 50. So I'm intrigued by that. You will notice when we go through this, there's a lot of glide baits.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a big category that's growing. And I'm sure some of these, they're not even that expensive, which I think is like that's going to come around a lot more like lower price point glides for people that want to get into it, or like, I don't know.
Even the Shimano one is only a $50.
Yeah. Just the heartburn of getting that bit off though is less. You know,
here we have the Z-Man Baby Jack. If you remember the classic, I had pink by me. What was it, like $320 worth of them?
It was a lot. I bought quite a few of these. I did not keep any for myself. I gave them all to you. And based on your review, I feel like I'm glad that I made that decision.
The good news is I'm not a fan. They don't vibrate very well. Believe it or not, you make a chatterbait blade smaller, it doesn't really chatter. And I didn't really think that part through. So I get why Z-Man keeps going like, dude, let's make another different chatterbait, and everybody buys it, but I'm done. Like I'm sticking with the one.
Pulled the wool over your eyes.
Well, I'm gonna do like I'll stick with the regular jackhammer, and then I'll go to the big blade. I'm not going smaller because guess what? It doesn't swim. Dude, like that's not how physics work.
When they made that like the trout size one, I actually thought that one was dope. That one worked really good.
Okay, and this is also the year of fuzzy baits. So we're
the like hybrid like dice / worm.
Everybody's making their own minnow. We got a Crush City jerk.
Is that new? I feel like I've seen that.
No, this is.
Oh, the freeloader was the one that was kind of like that.
This looks more honestly like it's a bass bait, but I actually think this would smash walleye fishing. It is made out of TPE too, so that'll be interesting.
This one looks sick.
Yeah, Crush City salted Ned roll. This looks like an awesome Ned bait.
Yeah, 3.25 inch little Ned thing with a kind of a weird tail shape on it. I like that.
We got some interesting minnows coming from Evergreen, which I'm sure will do good. Okay, so Great Lakes Finesse, are you familiar with them, Pink?
I am. I have quite a few of the original ones of this bait, this little craw, snap craw, or whatever they call it.
Yep. So they made a micro series now that's coming out.
Yeah.
and it is 30 to 40% smaller, and their baits are already small to like hard to find a hook for.
This is saying 1.7 inches.
It'll be a 1.7 inch. So you remember that chunky that Clam had?
Yeah.
That was 1.25. So this is slightly bigger than an ice fishing bait.
See, the dope thing is this thing's going to get bit, but it's going to be so far in their throat every time that it's going to be like impossible.
It is going to be interesting to see there, but they have their drop kick shad. I'm sure that'll be good. This Ned bug is interesting.
Yeah, I saw some stuff about that already on Instagram. I think.
Jackal drift fry and a 3.0 that will get bit by a lot of smallmouth.
And I think like the general consent. I mean, obviously, if you're listening to this, you can't see this, but the general like theme of this is like hyper realism, like a lot of supernatural looking, very
many minnows,
lifelike baits. Instead,
you would expect this after the year of the year of forward facing sonar and everybody coming out with minnows.
What was that tiny little glide? Was that? It looked like super small.
The KGB little guy.
The little guy. Okay.
It is a.
It's
120. It's a 120.
It's pretty small.
Yep, $55. So that's based off the KGB. I mean, all Spros are with the KGB crew now. So Yamamoto Slinko floater. I'm intrigued by this. We're just coming out with more dead baits and everything's basically what's happening.
Yeah.
Llama tubes. This is Seth Fighter.
Okay.
Created a
Z-Man tube.
A 2-inch baby tube.
Beauty.
So this is going to be interesting. I love baby tubes. So
they'll last a long time, dude.
You can catch 2 million.
Yeah, that could be a good one. Damn.
We got another fuzzy turd. Okay, and then we're down to a bunch of rods. I'm gonna keep scrolling through here. Pink, buy some time.
Yeah. No, I'm just excited. I think to just see the progression because I think every year it's different. And I know we've talked about like in the walleye side of things, we were like, wow, where would the walleye market go? Like as the scoping, popularity increases there with like that's an industry that hasn't seen this like massive move towards like JDM stuff, hyper realism. Like it was always more like bright colors, shock colors, different types of those like walleye style glide baits. But I think there's going to be a lot more instead of just in crankbaits. You're going to start seeing a lot more of this type of stuff we're looking at now on like the other parts, especially like Midwestern fishing. But it's cool to see like how many new things come out in bass every year. But it's crazy, like stuff like this. Like we're scrolling down. They got all this new line coming out. It's like the advancements in every part of the industry are like there, which is cool. I mean, I don't know what the selling points of some of that stuff are.
There's a lot of overwhelming. There's also a lot of tungsten heads.
Yeah. What the hell? What is this? The new Nico weight style?
Nico weight. Oh, that's so smart. That thing probably stays in so much better. It's just a T-wing, basically.
It almost looks like a bow fishing point.
Yes.
With that little like yoke on it or whatever. Yeah, lots of. I always feel like when new stuff comes out, I'm never overwhelmed. Like, wow, that seems unique.
Oh,
like, it's
okay.
A new version, but okay.
This is for the people here. So if you watch our St. Jude video, Panger was whacking them on a jig head on the river. This is the jig head. It wasn't out yet, so I couldn't really show it that much. Missile baits, eye roll jig head. Yeah, it is badass.
It's like a solid welded ring in the eyelet there.
Yes, it's a solid welded ring, and it comes in a 1/3 and a 5/0 hook size.
So like ultimate freedom of movement on that ring.
Well, dude, the biggest thing right now is like you're throwing these 5 to 7 inch minnows. The biggest damn hook you got in a ball head's a 3. So like you put it on this giant minnow and they bite the back of it and you don't get them. So you see a lot of jig heads. Like you're like, oh, great, a jig head. But a lot of people are happy right now because there's not a lot of 5/0 jig heads out there. So you got that. I'm going to keep scrolling. We're getting down to the bottom right now.
Yeah.
What
but
is
definitely
this? Who uploaded this image to the website? How did we not scale this?
Way too big. Way too big.
It's a swivel.
All the other ones are dialed. You get to
it is
number
a swivel
87.
fluke head, and I'm very intrigued by it, but it makes me
you can't
mad.
even get it on the screen.
I know, it makes me really mad right now.
That's funny.
Oh, and they got a Llama Tubes jig head for Fighter.
Oh, those are gonna sell good
for it. Yeah, so they got a jig head for it too.
I'll probably be buying some of those. Those look dope.
AFCO coming out with a duffel bag that actually looks fairly legit.
Plastics for date.
Beat Down Outdoors came out with the 0 degree live scope mount, so that's the first competition for that fish obsessed one. Gami, I need to get one of these for hair jigs. That's like the best way to store.
Yeah, I've seen them. I've seen them at some stores that style.
Oh, okay. All right, Pink. You're not gonna see the price on this. Okay. So Power Pull, people are gonna like this. Listen to this. So Power Pull is coming out with this. I saw this on Facebook today. So they have a prop for the Power Pull trolling motor that is stainless steel for the trolling motor. So the thought is obviously won't dent, off water, no sound because there's no wobble or anything. Forward facing sonar, everything.
You're gonna break so many shear pins with this.
If you go shallow and you hit something, everything. Yes. So I've thought of this too, and I'm like, I get the idea, but how many people? Like, if you're buying this, you're a scoper, dude.
Okay, that's fair.
You're not going shallow.
This is highly specialized. I can get on board with that.
But guess the price.
Well, isn't because Power Pull's already like the most expensive trolling motor, right?
Yeah, it's like $4 or $5 grand.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna say this being that specialized, no one else makes this. I'm gonna say this prop is $600.
You were very close. It is a $549.99 prop for your trolling motor.
That's ridiculous, dude.
Could you imagine having it on and being like, oh, I'm just going to go shallow real quick. And then tink, you hit a piece of gravel. Yeah. Just a piece of gravel.
And it just folds the ear.
Yeah. I get the idea, but it's like, oh, that.
Like I said, though, you lock that up on a rock, dude, you are snapping that shear pin.
Oh, yeah. Shear pin gone. You better have a bulk bag of them. Okay, now I'm just rotating through right now. We got a bunch of
we're into the apparel line, so
Bahio's got some new sunglasses out.
I feel like this is a tough spot to like see innovation though. Like you scroll down and you like see clothing, you're like, yeah, okay.
Oh, Relevant. They came out with those buck shades that I saw last year, and the Rogues. Those ones, they'll fit your face way better.
Maybe someday I'll see them.
Yeah. Once again, way too big of an image. I'm almost to the bottom right now.
They really gave up. They got towards the bottom. They
did. They were like, we're not resizing images anymore. I just can't get over this damn VMC fluke hook. Like, who did this?
If you could see this right now, literally you have to scroll like multiple times to get past the one hook on the screen.
Yeah. I also do appreciate, though, I like that they just made it one website that I scroll down on.
Yeah, instead of like tabs and stuff.
Yeah, there's nothing that pisses me off more when they're like, oh, here's an image, and you like click through the gallery. It's like, no, I just want to scroll. Like, let me just scroll. So that's what's going on at iCast. I think there's some cool new things coming out. Once again, I mean,
I do think though, like iCast is a place, like especially when like there will be a lot of people there that are like they might not have big channels or whatever, but they specialize in putting out new iCast content. And like, I mean, that's like all they do. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's the one thing. Like, I would have never thought I'd have been so into that, but I do actually watch a lot of those because I really like the crossover. And like, I think there's a lot of really cool saltwater companies and saltwater baits that cross over into freshwater fishing that like they're never for sale at Tackle Warehouse. You'll never see them anywhere else. So it's like you kind of have to hear about them. You know what I mean? Because we're just not. Yeah. We're not in that world enough to be like, oh, this new company is launching this bait or whatever. So I feel like I try to kind of stay up to date on that stuff because I just like new stuff that comes out. And there's always like new applications for that type of stuff for things that like maybe I do or other people do or whatever.
Well, dude, and that's the thing that's like hard for me right now is like McCoy talked about when you're doing all the filming stuff and everything, you just see you don't have time. And I'm trying to get more and more time so that I can watch more things, read more articles. Like,
it's hard to consume stuff if you're making.
Like if you're making stuff, it's really hard to consume stuff to like stay up to date. Yep. And that's where like I appreciate these articles and stuff, or even videos, is so I can go through it and be like, okay, yeah, I want to see this or whatever it is. But I mean, a lot of the products are kind of what we expected to see in terms of, it's going to be very forward-facing sonar heavy, because everybody was designing for this about a year and a half ago is when they were like, and that's about when the boom of like these forward, like guys who are really good are taking over, and all these companies were like, okay, we need to come out with this stuff. And it takes a year and a half, 2 years. So now,
but they got to be pumped that it's like smashing and guys are winning and the hype is there, that they're like, oh, thank God this is going to work.
Well, and here's the thing, everyone's going to buy it. Like,
oh yeah,
it's all going to get bit. Glide baits, minnows, you name it.
Yeah,
they're all going to get bought.
Yes. Yeah.
So super cool to see. Excited to see more stuff coming. And yeah, I don't know if you're a company out there listening and you want some ad space for your new project for next year, hit us up.
Yeah. But also, if you're listening to this and you come across anything that sounds super dope that you saw at iCast, shoot it to us in a DM and we'll check it out, and maybe we'll chat about it on the next one.
Yeah, for sure.
Because once everything's out next week, when it actually comes out and everything's like, public,
we have more details, and
there'll be a lot of interesting things, because there are hundreds of companies there. So if you see anything cool, let us know. We'll check it out.
For sure. So yeah, that's what you got going on at iCast. Excited to see all the videos coming out and whatever new stuff might be coming.
Especially now, we're in between like all these tournaments and stuff. There's not like a ton of that to be watched. Like, I don't even think the next Elite is for like a month.
Yeah, well, and dude, like that's what's so weird about where we are in Minnesota, right? Is like it feels like we're just getting into our season,
like, yeah, seriously.
And like it's almost something I don't want to say I resent about the industry. It's something I hate about like working in the industry, is like we're just getting into our season, and I'm so excited to get in a boat over the next few months and make videos and do stuff. Yeah. But then part of your brain's like, nobody even cares anymore. And in the marketing side of the world, they're all like, I'm looking for next year.
Oh,
so
right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, if you work in the industry, it's like, oh, well, we're done basically.
Well, like you said, it's like already having meetings about ice fishing, and it's like, oh God.
Yeah. I've been having meetings about ice fishing for 3 months now.
Right.
And it's still crazy. But yeah, we got to all chat about ice fishing stuff here in the next month, 2 months. Like that's what's once September hits, it's like flipping the page. One thing I do wish that the ice industry did have a bit more was like I wish the ice industry had something like iCast in terms of just one area where like, here's all the new stuff. Like I know Target Walleye's kind of done an article, or like
somewhere that showcased what is new.
Yeah, or like a bunch of video, like a video page I could go to. I think Alex Tim has done it before. He's a YouTuber up here. But like just a place I can go and go through everything that's new from all the companies, and it comes out at the same time. Because that is the one thing about the ice industry, is like everyone like holds everything so close to their chest.
Right.
And then they're using their day to unleash all their stuff.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so like
hard to keep up.
Clam's Day just came out, then Otter's Day came out, now Humminbird did some stuff, there's Vexlar, and you're like, by the 8th day, you're like,
you can't even keep up with it.
Yeah, just give me a catalog. Like
and it's too hard to and it's easier to digest in a spot like that versus like at the St. Paul Ice Show. It's just overwhelming. Like you can't even understand what's all there, Yeah.
Well, and by then, once again, by the time they're done there, their selling season's over.
Right. That's the big, you're right.
That's the crazy thing about this whole fishing industry. I mean, that's little inside baseball like we had last week with YouTube with Nick, but that is the weirdest part about working in the fishing industry, is like all of our work is done so that the consumer wants to buy everything at the beginning of whatever that season is, and then everything after that doesn't matter.
And they're like, on to the next one.
Because like if everybody listening to this right now, think of this. think of what your tackle bills are at the beginning of a season compared to July and August.
Right.
Because like right now, basically the only thing you're buying is something you broke too many off,
reloads,
a rod that broke, or a reel that broke, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going in and dumping $2,000 on a bunch of stuff. You're just picking some stuff up.
Right.
So yeah, cool stuff. I wish the ice industry had a little bit more of that. And yeah, we won't talk about that in July, but it is eventually coming. But all right, Pink, you've been doing a little open water fishing. You were gone from the last pod.
I was.
So we got like a month worth of stuff to catch up from you on, basically.
Yeah. Let's see. I guess I don't even remember what was going on the last time I was here.
You were here with me and Panger recapping my bachelor party. So it would have been after that.
Okay. So we had a couple Tourney Tuesdays in there.
Yeah, you've been steady mopping in Tourney Tuesday.
Our team has been doing very well, and we have another one tomorrow that I am very much looking forward to.
Who are you fishing with?
I'm fishing with Connor.
Oh yeah, dude,
we fish well together. We're a good team. It's so funny though that me and Sobe signed up as a team. Our team is me and him, and I have yet to fish with him this year.
And he can't make it tomorrow either.
Well, I mean, he's not fishing tomorrow. That's what I know. I don't think he particularly is in love with the lake that we're going to. Connor loves this lake.
I know, like, dude, I thought about it. I was like, I might text Pink to join tomorrow, and then I was like, oh, he's probably going with Connor. Because if you wouldn't have gone with Connor, I would have been like, bro, I'm in.
Yes. No, I mean, like, I think it's gonna go well, and like we're hyped about it and the whole thing, but like he's genuinely hyped because like I asked him if he wanted to fish, and he's kind of like, oh, work or whatever. And then I told him where it was, and he was like, give me 1 day to figure this out. And then the next day he's like, I'm in. And I was like, okay, sick.
Yeah, so, no, you'll have a good time. That's just a fun lake to fish on too. So it's not like the usual Tourney Tuesday lakes now where you're like, I really hope I get bit.
Yeah, it's not. I'm very much looking forward to it. Hopefully not being an absolute grind fest like a lot of these have been. But yes, we've been doing good. I've been fishing with Connor and Brock. But yeah, we had some really good finishes, some fifths, seconds. I know Sobe and Brock fished a couple. That one, I am salty though. I did listen to the last pod, and I got 0 credit for the assist on that frog bite, and I'm salty about it.
On whose frog bite?
On Sobe and Brock's frog bite on that Tuesday nighter, because they went there. They specifically went and practiced.
Oh, dude! So I just watched that video, and I was like, also, you deserve the credit, but like I should get a little reciprocal credit because that's where you and I almost won that mofo.
Yes.
Like 3 years ago, and nobody fished shallow.
Yes.
Literally, and then everybody was deep.
Everyone went deep, and we found them in there.
checked to like 2 spots, and I said, "Screw this, let's just go fish shallow because they're not biting deep. It's going to be a 12-pound day, so we might as well go fish not behind people."
Yes, and I went there last year and did the same thing. And again, was like 1 bite short of like making it happen or whatever, right? And I was like, damn it. So I was like, I told those guys they were going to go and practice or whatever. And they told me how it went. And I was like, did you go here? Like, did you check this? And they're like, yup. And they're like, it sucked. Like, not even 1 blow up. And I'm like, wrong. Like,
yeah, they're like, I don't believe you.
Yeah. And he told me where they fished, and like, cause he's like, dude, there's current flowing in that thing, like it's pumping out of there. And I'm like, they're there. He's like, I don't know. So I was like, you know what, F it, I'm going. And it was like a night when we had a big thunderstorm, and I drove all the way over there. Brock texted me on the way. He's like, I'll come meet you. I was like, okay, perfect. We got there, we went out, we got to the ramp, massive thunderstorm. It was hailing, all this stuff. We're just sitting in the truck waiting. Finally, like an hour before dark, it finally lets up. We put the boat in, we went out there, and it took us 5 minutes, and we found them, and we hooked like I think 3 or 4 of them in a row, had a couple more bites, and I was just like, you guys should really start here, like, you know what I mean? And they had like already written it off, and then they went there in the tournament and they freaking mopped, dude, and it worked out. Like, it was so sick that
but it was the right. I watched that video, and it was the right plan, because like you said, if you can just get a few keepers, then you can do that all night. But like, you even see in Sobe's video, those fish, like, they eat a frog really good sometimes, and sometimes they're like little bitches about it. Like, they don't grab it well. Like if you watch the background of that video, Brock misses some a bunch, and it's not Brock, it's them. Like, they eat it really weird.
Just weird. But like, it's one of those deals where, especially that lake, but I mean, most of these metro lakes, I swear, all you like, yes, once they go deep, like, it's hard to beat that, but you can always get bit on that pattern. But it's the only problem is, like, are you going to get 5?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're going to be good, pretty good ones. Like, if you catch them, like, I think you're going to be right there. But like, sometimes it's like you're getting 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, things have been going really good. I think we're currently sitting in second place in AOI points. We're 1 point behind the leaders. So
that's crazy too, because you guys have had a really good year. So to even be 1 point behind is nuts. Because who's leading?
Schroeder's. They're leading, and they won. Yeah. They won 2, I think, back to back. So
okay, that makes sense.
Pretty good cushion there, but
long standing hand. It's the Schroeder's, the Schroeder's and Roush, basically. Well, and there's other good fishermen too.
There's a lot of good guys, but I mean,
those guys are like pinnacles.
But we're gunning for the top. We're right there. So I think if we have a good finish in this one, the rest of it sets up pretty dang good. So
I would like to hear, how has the league been receptive of the community approach you guys took to it? Because
Yep. So we talk to no one and we leave immediately. So, and like the worst. Okay, this is the worst part, because like, I'm sure there's people that are like hate on it, right? That like most people aren't fishing with like other people. It's just like they're 2 guys or whatever.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say you can't. But also on the points sheet, it says how many subs you've had. Like, they write it on there. So like every time, because you get like the way.
Well, it's also not like you guys are picking like local hammers. You're just alternating between Brock and Connor. Like, it's a group of 4 that's like whoever of us 2 can make it will fish. Yes. But it has to be Sobe or Ryan.
And like, no one would probably care like until you're doing good.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So,
and I don't think most of the guys in that league would care, especially because, like, as if you guys told them all at the beginning, you're like, here's the deal. We just don't want to give up our spot and we want to fish, but like, we can't make all the weeks. So we're just going to put it together and we're going to pay a ton of substitution fees. And the championship pot's going to be giant.
Yeah, we pay the fee every time. So whatever.
Yeah, and I'm sure Chris doesn't care. He's awesome.
No, they're cool about it. But yeah, no, it's been fun. And it's like, it's fun that we're doing good and like we're finding some good stuff. So hopefully,
like the pain where people could have a gripe is if you showed up to the next one and you showed up with like Griff or like a local, and they're like, okay, like,
but it's still, I mean, but Griff subbed for Sobe last year and they zeroed. So like,
that's with Steph. That's right. I forgot about that.
I mean, like, hey, but yeah, it's good, and I think tomorrow is going to be fun, and we'll see how it goes. But things are going good in the Tourney Tuesday world. I think Sam's putting out a couple of videos on it too, so that should be cool.
Did you record anything, or is he just putting out his stuff?
I did, and I gave it to him. He didn't use it, so I don't know. Yeah, but about what I'd expect. But no, we're filming a little bit during it and doing some updates and stuff, but we're kind of keeping it casual this time and just having some fun fishing. So Tourney Tuesday tomorrow, and then I just let's see. Oh, where do we leave off? So I think the week after the last pod. So because Sam went to or you guys went to Champs Tour, and then he went up to that Onyx fish thing.
Yeah, and he said that, I mean, you and Nicole were up there a bit, and he talked about a little bit what he did. He didn't talk anything about you.
So our deal was totally different than his. And like, super cool experience, by the way. Because they like, so I never even saw Sam, by the way. Like, he was gone before I even got there, because he dipped like right after I think his shoot was done. But he did like a little tournament thing, I guess, like a head-to-head tournament. Ours was totally different. It was like framed up as like we were there in a place like we've never fished before, essentially.
Okay.
And like, so this was in Brainerd, right? I spent 0 time there. Neither is she. So this was like them having us come up there, and then it was obviously an Onyx fish shoot, so they wanted us to use the app. And the premise of our segment of this thing was fishing 3 lakes in 3 days. Was like like this is the 3 lakes in 3 days shoot, whatever. Okay. So the goal was to basically do a multi-species fishing trip, basing like our decision making off of using this app to find places to fish and to determine what we were going to fish for, and then just like go do it. And they're like, it was so weird because like before we got there, they wouldn't even tell us like where we were going to stay, where we were going to fish, like nothing. Like we had zero information other than until like shortly before they just sent us an address. And this was like the Airbnb we were staying at. So like we get up there, like have zero intel on the whole situation, and we got there, and of course they got like this sick house, dude, like right on a lake, like super dope setup. They had some like the camera guys they had were like guys from Onyx, like that shoot all like the hunting stuff or whatever. So that's those guys there, super cool guys from Utah that came out to shoot this thing. And yeah, dude, and then we just freaking went fishing, and it was like kind of crazy, but we had a lot of fun. It was definitely like a little nerve-wracking because you're obviously like, you know, you've been on some of this stuff where you're like, dude, we have to like catch them though. Like this is cool, but like we have nothing if we don't catch them. So the first lake, this is like the worst way this could have started. So okay, first spot, we picked this lake, we're gonna go. It's like maybe a half-hour drive, so we get everybody together. It's like I got my boat, my truck or whatever, and then we got another boat for like there's the camera boat, and then like another truck of people. So it was like a big squad. We drive to this lake, first lake of the trip. We dump in, mind you. Me and Nicole are doing this for 2 days, and then we are driving to Canada for 5 days. So this is a week-long trip. We're kicking off like first day.
Yeah.
I launch the boat. I go and park the truck. I go and get in the boat, and I'm like, they're trying to get some shots of us kind of like getting the boat ready, blah, blah, whatever. Okay, cool. So I kind of idle out, whatever. I'm digging with some stuff. They're getting some shots. And now I'm like idling up to the dock to pick Nicole up, right? And I'm going like so slow. Like I'm just like basically drifting into the dock. And it is flat calm. It's gorgeous morning coming into the thing. And like me and Nicole fish together all the time, right? Like this is nothing new. Like I'm idling up to the dock, and she's like standing on the dock, and she goes to like, she like puts her foot out to put her foot like on the gunnel just to like stop the boat and then like step in. I'm like idling up to the thing. Sure. She puts her foot on the gunnel of the boat, and her other foot that's on the dock, like the height of the dock is just perfect that as the boat comes in, her toe gets caught between the rub rail and the dock.
Oh my God.
And like, right. And I'm going very slow. Like it just bumps into it. But like, you know, your natural reaction when you get pinches, it kind of like pull back a little bit.
Yeah.
So she does that. And I'm talking fully deletes her big toenail in one motion.
Oh my God.
And like, but like nobody knew what happened, right? All of a sudden she was like, oh shit. And she kind of like steps back, all good, steps into the boat, and is immediately like, oh, this is bad. And I'm like, what? And it is like, dude, it is bad. Like it is not good. I'm talking like the hood is open on the truck, dude.
Oh,
right. And we're like, oh shit. And like, she's a nurse, right? So this is like, but it's like also you, like it's not somebody else. So she's kind of like, I was blown away though how chill she was. Just like, this is like not great, but like we'll figure it out. So immediately we're like, oh my God, I was like, I don't know if I have a first aid kit in here right now. So we're asking around, and I'm like, does anybody have?
Anyone got electrical tape?
And everyone's like, what? And like no one like saw this happen because it was so like casual, the whole thing. And we're like, oh yeah, we got a problem over here. And they're like, oh, what do you need? And we're like, you got a first aid kit? Oh yeah, you good? Like what happened? We're like, like, yeah, we got to sit. So next thing you know, we're cleaning it off. We got one of the guys gave us like a roll of like that gaff tape, and we're like trying to just, I don't know, it's a whole thing. And so whatever, we do that. She ate a bunch of ibuprofen, whatever. We get through the day of fishing, and the first spot sucked. It was like, we got out there, we found a bunch of, dude, this lake, I'm going back to this lake, the amount of giant smallmouth, and I'm not talking like 4-pounders. I'm talking giants, dude. Absolute giants. And we could see them, and we were
You should text me the name of it.
We were having a hell of a time getting them to bite, but dude, we found them. Like we caught a
private chat.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. But like we found them. Like I found the G, dude, and there were I don't even know how many, and like so many that I'm like, I don't even know what that is, like how big they were. And the water was crystal clear. Like you should have been able to sight fish them, and we couldn't. I mean, dude, like I couldn't get them to bite anything. We were trying I'm dropping a live leech on their dome. Won't even turn on it, dude. Like trying everything. It was incredible, but there were so many there, and I was like, oh, I just want to be here when it's going down. But whatever, we bounced around. We made some good decisions, I think, on places to go. We ended up cashing in on a freaking epic largemouth bite, frogging, like a sunset frogging bite, dude, and caught like some like 4 to 5 pounders, like super cool.
Nice.
But these guys were awesome. The guys we had filming with us, super cool. Like I'm talking like getting in the water to get the shots and stuff. It was super cool to like kind of be a part of, and it was pretty sweet. But yeah, hung out there for a couple days. Did a little walleye fishing, that kind of thing.
Was there anyone else besides you and Sobe there?
No.
Like in terms of our friends or anything, or it was just with you guys?
Yeah.
That's sick. Super
it was
cool.
like they did two shoots essentially. It was his thing and then our thing. That was it.
Super cool.
But they had like their whole crew there for it. They had so they had two filmers from Onyx that they brought in, and there was one guy there from Rawfish that was doing like a ton of photography, like doing a lot of cool underwater stuff and like 50-50 shots that were like I saw some of it like raw, and it was like pretty dope. Like really, really cool. And then like Joel was there, and then there was one other Onyx guy there. So we had a good squad. But yeah,
do you know? Cool. I asked Sobe the same thing. Do you know when it's coming out?
So it sounded like the timeline was fairly like they wanted to turn it around pretty quick, I think.
Okay.
But that was my understanding. Like I've already seen there's a couple of ads going around with some shots from it already, at least from our thing.
Yeah.
There's been like 2 Instagram and Facebook ads that had like some shots from us fishing up there, me and Nicole. So yeah, I think with a few weeks, I would think is kind of what they were targeting, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
But so that was fun, super cool experience to be a part of something a little different. And like it's not like we had to shoot anything, like they just invited us to come do it.
Dude, that was my favorite part of like when I went to whenever I go to shoots that like I'm not shooting, I'm talent, and they're like go catch fish. I'm like, oh hell yeah. Like you don't have to worry about any camera gear, and they're like, oh, if I set up a GoPro, can you like hit stop record? And you're like, yeah. But you're like, I didn't have to set it up. I didn't have to worry about it. Like, it's so nice. Well, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. And like, I mean, there was some aspect to it, like, cause it still was a shoot, right? It wasn't just like go fishing and we'll just capture whatever. Like they still wanted certain things. Right. So like, there's times when I'm like, there's a 0% chance we're catching anything right now. Like there's a couple of bites where we're like actively scoping fish. Right.
Yeah.
Like off this break line, and it was cool. It was like we were catching largies too, but they were like suspended, and we're like throwing swim bait at them. It's pretty cool. But like I have a guy literally laying on top of my graphs and like holding onto my trolling motor, like laying off the bow of the boat, and I'm like trying to fish. You know what I mean? Like I'm like I can't even barely run the trolling motor. So I'm like there was just stuff like that, or just little things, that we're trying to kind of work around. And then constantly, like we're trading people between boats constantly. We're getting in with you, we'll do this, do that. Okay, whatever. So, I mean, I think they were trying to make it like very cinematic. So they're getting like a lot of these like interesting angles and being very creative with it, but it wasn't like ideal.
It's not conducive to actually fishing.
Yeah, especially when like the camera boat is like 15 to 20 feet off my trolling motor as I'm like going towards them. Like that's the way I'm fishing, right? But whatever. Like it all worked out cool, and we got some cool stuff. It was fun. We did like a little like the fish that Sam caught during their tournament. We ended up doing filming a fish fry with. So
yeah,
stuff like that. It was pretty fun.
That's okay. I'm sure it was cool too, hanging out with all of them and everything.
It was. And I mean, like, I don't know. It's just cool to be around other people in the industry that are like really doing it. And like, they're kind of in the middle of like growing this brand too. So like some of those conversations are kind of cool to be around, like just kind of like how things are going. And like they're putting out fires constantly with that stuff. Cause they're the marketing guys, right? Like they're there.
Yeah.
They're still like working. So obviously there's like a lot happening, but that was cool. Yeah.
Was there any
Awesome
development
experience for us.
How many of them like were just trying to convince you to quit your job? Did that develop?
Not as much there, but the DMs on my Instagram have flared up recently. So.
They flared up recently.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So okay, fast forward. So we leave there. We grind for a couple days. We're still dealing with this toe thing, right? And I'm kind of like, shit. Like obviously this is not my deal. Like I just don't want like her to like hate every moment of this now that we're gonna go on this trip, right? And so she's like super worried about keeping it clean. So she goes to this pharmacy and gets like $100 worth of stuff to keep it clean and like all this stuff, right? Okay, cool. So we'll figure that out as we go. But we're going to Canada. This was the next trip. We're going muskie fishing in Canada for the rest of the day. She is on the phone. We're at the shoot. Like we're fishing. She's constantly on the phone with her doctor trying to get a prescription for this like specific antibiotic that she thinks would be like beneficial because we're kind of going to be off the grid camping for 5 days. Doesn't want to get infected. Okay, cool. Like over and over trying to get this prescription to the place in like we're in Crosby, right? So there's like a grocery store, pharmacy, whatever, trying to get this prescription sent there. The people will not like get back to her, whatever. She's on the phone with them constantly, whatever. So that last night we're there, I'm like, this place it closes soon, whatever. We got no prescription, the whole thing. So of course we were going to leave that night, but we were both so ground down. We're like, let's just sleep. So we slept till like 5 or something in the morning and then left and started driving up. And we get to we are 10 miles from International Falls. Okay. And she gets a phone call from the place that's like, oh, your prescription's ready in Crosby. Right. And we're like, well, that's not going to work. We're nowhere near there now. And so whatever, long story short, she ends up getting it transferred to a pharmacy in International Falls as we're like driving into town. So we ended up like making it to this pharmacy as the prescription is sent there, and they like filled it like right before we crossed the border.
Oh my God, that's clutch.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't think we're not gonna be able to get that in Canada, probably. Like, I don't know how that works.
I don't. Yeah, that healthcare over the borders is pretty difficult.
Well, and maybe it does. We didn't know anything about it. We're like, whatever. So it worked. The timing was like incredible, but it's okay. We get that. We go up there. It's all good. And yeah, we spent 5 days muskie fishing. The muskie fishing was like hot and cold. Like there were days that it was just straight up going down, and some days that were really grindy. Kind of like what you'd expect, I guess, from a muskie trip. But dude, I'm telling you, I have never seen a mayfly hatch like what was going down when we were there, and we were camping, dude. And it was like insane. Like I'm talking.
And you could just never get away from it.
You could never get away from it all night. It sounded like it was raining because there were so many mayflies. Like it literally sounded like legit rain, not like sprinkling, like raining outside. And it was just because there were so many mayflies. And okay, so I hit up Clam and I got one of those quick set shelters for them for this trip. So we had like a thing, right?
Yeah.
And it was apparently the one you just used or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was all fucked up when I got it there, dude. Like, I don't know how you put that away because they were like, Bart used it last, so hopefully it's all good, is what they told me.
I put it away fine. It just went back like an ice house when I put it away.
I don't know, dude. But we got it set up. But okay, so you know exactly the setup I had then.
Yeah.
Okay, so we put that up. So we actually have like my truck is set up to like sleep in, right? I have like a bed in there, mattress thing, the whole setup. So we were just like sleeping in the truck, and then this tent thing was like our living situation, which it's a big tent. Like,
yeah.
So we had our kitchen / like hangout spot in there, whatever. Yes, this thing keeps bugs out, but once they are inside, they do not leave. Confirmed. Yeah. And there were, I'm talking thousands of mayflies in this thing, dude.
Oh my God.
Like, dude, after I got home, I set it up in my yard and just swept out all the mayfly bodies before I returned it. Cause I was like, I can't just take it back like
Oh
this.
my God.
It was insane. And like, this is like a fairly remote spot where we were. But like there's a dock, like it's a resort. They have some cabins you can rent. We camped there. They have like a bunch of dock slips, whatever. In every dock slip, there were like full, like punchable mats of mayflies floating.
Oh my God.
Dude, it was like the craziest thing I've ever seen. And like, I mean, yeah, I know they get some epic mayfly hatches like in La Crosse and places like that, but like this was like that, dude.
Up
And we
there,
were like
yeah.
in it camping, like it was nuts. And of course the mosquitoes are hellacious as well, right? We're in Canada in June, like they're terrible. But we survived it. We had some great fishing. We caught some really big muskies, which was awesome. We filmed pretty much the whole trip, which was cool. So we got to document a whole bunch of fun stuff. Let's see what else.
Are we gonna get to see it?
God, I hope so. I hope so. It's really teed up right now.
I'm still waiting for the elk. I've got
I know. But this one's fresh and we actually did a really good job at like filming it, and it's like pretty orderly. So, but yeah, we were running cameras the whole time. Like, cause I mean, Nicole does when she's fishing all the time anyway. So she's always filming stuff. So we got a lot of cool stuff and some pretty cool moments. I think I put a reel out the other day that was like one of our cooler fish catches. It was a bit like a big one that we caught that jumped a lot, and I posted on Instagram. It was pretty cool, but the whole clip is sick, but like that moment was pretty cool. And yeah, we did a ton of exploring. Like this is a lake that I've spent a good amount of time on, but it was like we really tried looking for new stuff this time. And like, what's crazy is me and Nicole went there last year too. And what happened was like, we caught some nice fish and like, we had some cool days, but like the last day last year, like everything lined up just perfect. And like, we had just a sick amount of action. Okay. And like this particular lake, like you get the right conditions and it feels like you can't do anything wrong type of place.
Yeah.
And we just never had that through this trip. And then the last day, the exact same thing happened. Like all these thunderstorms rolled in. They were all around the lake. There's lightning everywhere. And the fish were just on fire, dude. And we had to be off the water by we can only fish till noon. We have to be back to the dock at noon. You know what I mean? And of course, our plan was like, let's just tear down camp in the morning. Well, of course, you get up, you start tearing stuff down. We got kind of a late start, but we packed up our camp. And we're like, okay, we can fish till noon, and then we got to bail. Well, of course, like it starts going down, and like in the last probably 30 minutes of fishing, Nicole catches 2 muskies back to back, and we roll into this next bay, and like we have a huge one up, probably like an upper 40s right up to the boat, and like everything is firing, dude. Like everywhere we go, we're getting action. There's like thunderstorms are like coming like here, and we're like, oh my God, we have to like run back to the dock, and like we have to like leave them biting, which is like the worst thing you could do. But we ended up getting out of there, and yeah, we caught 2 fish our last morning, and we left a few on the table that I wish we could have went back on because we found some really big ones that last day. But we made it was sick. The last day we made a long run in the morning, and we got so rained on. Like we ran up there and it felt so epic. Like we get there, this gust front is hitting on the spot. It was just like everything felt so right. And it was a spot we had one up that was, if it wasn't 50, it was damn close. It was a fish we found like the day before. And we went back on it. Nicole, we had that fish up. We went back on it. We had like a 42 incher up on the same spot. Nicole had it eat twice at the boat and just didn't connect. It was so crazy. And so we're like, that's the biggest fish we found this whole trip. We got to give it one more shot. So we made a pretty long run in the morning all the way up there. And we gave it a shot right as that front was hitting. Like everything about it was right. And we just never saw it again, which is unfortunate. But yeah, super, like I said, epic trip. And I just love being there. And we were definitely in the middle of it. But yeah, caught a bunch of muskies, and like the pike fishing was incredible. I think I sent you guys some of the pictures when we were up there, but like,
yeah, I seen all the pike photos, and I was like, I could actually get down with that.
It was insane. And like Nicole is like, she obviously lives for muskie fishing, right? But like here's the bummer of the whole thing is so the first day of the trip was tough. Like I lost one like mid-30s in the morning, and then we had like very little muskie action the rest of the day. But the second, and we caught a lot of pike that first day, but just like the muskie thing wasn't going. So that second day, I caught like a 47-incher kind of early in the day. And then it was tough after that. And we were just catching pike, and you could tell her gears were turning like, oh, fuck, like I got to get one, kind of thing. And of course, like we caught a big one right away, right? And we're going all day, dude. And like every pike, I'm like, I feel sorry for these fish. Like, what is happening in the back of my boat right now? I'm like, the next pike that bites that bucktail is in for some shit, dude. And she loves fishing a big tube. And we get on this spot. It was just juice, dude. Like, it was so sick. And I was like, there's no way there's not one sitting on this. And she was like, finally is like, I'm throwing the tube, and she freaking throws it up next to this like reed point thing and rips it a couple times and just gets locked up. And it's like a massive pike, but we thought it was a muskie for sure. And we get it in the net, and I was like, oh shit, like she is pissed, dude. But like, so I was just like praying to God we get into them. And the last spot that we run all the way back to our camp, dude, we're at the weed bed at the end of the dock. Okay. And we pull in there, and I made one cast, got snagged on a rock pile, went and got it out, was like, fuck it, I'm throwing top water. Made like 2 casts with a top water and caught a 40-incher. Okay. Like, well, that was cool. And now it's like 2-0 on the day. And I'm like, oh boy, this is bad for me, And we go up, and she's throwing like a big spinner bait or whatever. And she's like, can we just like bump in closer to these weeds or whatever? I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. So we get in there, like probably third cast after we moved in, she hooks one. So we ended up getting two muskies on the last spot of the night, literally 50 yards from our tent. That's sick. Like, it was actually a pretty sick end of the day. It was like right at sunset. Like, it was super cool. And then things kind of ramped up from there. We had a lot better fishing and muskie action throughout the trip. But yeah, super cool. Super
yeah,
cool
sweet. Yeah, awesome, dude. Trips are the best like that. That's what I've been so jealous of, like you guys and everything, because I've just been locked down basically this summer. Like, all right, getting gears rolling and getting everything turning, but I've got like cabin fever now. I'm just chilling here. I'm like, I need to go do something.
Yeah, I know.
Go chase stuff, and like especially those like other species trips are just getting way more in the front of my mind of like, I want to go chase some muskies or go do something else. So yeah, I saw you get back from. So when did you get back the 4th then, or when did you get back?
No. So we got back Monday night. So before the week of the 4th, but on Monday.
Okay, so then you went back to work for like 2 days.
Yeah, I worked like Tuesday through Thursday, and then and then had the weekend or whatever. But it was like because right now is kind of like when we're like this is our busiest time at work, right? And of course I'm just like, well, I'm going on this trip, blah blah whatever. So we hire like interns every year or whatever.
Oh yeah. You got your summer intern. That's right.
So we got so Monday, the Monday before I left, was our intern's first day. So they come in, and I like work with them for the day, and I was just like, good luck. And I left for a week. And so that was an interesting start to like their experience, I guess, but I think it's going well. So
you got back and you're like, well, nothing burned down, right?
Yeah. So anyway, so back to work for a little bit, but there'll be more fishing coming soon. You got a few more things lined up. No like major trips, but some shorter like 3-4 day stuff. Probably coming in the next couple of weeks, but
nice. Hopping to any other states other than Wisconsin and Minnesota, or just kind of keeping it around here?
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty much around here. Potentially one more Great Lakes spin, because I don't even know if I was on the pod since we had that, but did a Lake Michigan trip that went really well. Smashed a bunch of salmon. Probably going to maybe try to do that again in maybe a week or so. Might do one more mission over there, little meat run as it were. But yeah, caught a lot of king salmon. That was fun, kings and cohos and stuff. So that was what I did this weekend. Smoked probably 20 pounds of salmon this weekend.
Nice. So I love salmon. I need to go do that too.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun as hell, dude. Like I have a good time doing it, and like we are not like ultra dialed. Like we catch them, but like I'm not like one of these charter guys that's out there every day and is just like locked in.
Blistering them.
Yeah, but like I mean, put it this way: you go over there and catch a half a dozen or whatever big kings. Like all the ones we caught were between 10 and 18 pounds. So it's like, you come home off from a trip with 10 of those. It's like the cooler of meat you have is just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's like
for
these
sure.
guys that are going and getting their 2-3 man limits every day. I don't even know what you do with all that meat, to be honest. It's just so much.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but it's fun. Yeah, it's a different game, right? Like because we're trolling. Like I know there's guys that are getting more into like scoping and stuff like that, but
Scoping for salmon's got to be, dude. That strike has got to be wild.
Yeah, I mean,
like, to actively actually scope one has got to be cool as shit.
Yeah, and I'd love to do it. I mean, like I understand the game and like how to, but it's just like if I'm going there for 3 days, like and I want to like capitalize on at least like bringing home a bunch of meat. It's like trolling is definitely like efficient, right? Like you can definitely rack them up doing that. But one of these times I'm going to go over there and just dedicate a trip to just scoping because I think it'd just be super fun.
It'd just be super unique.
Oh yeah, and I mean, like you'd catch them. I mean, I think you just got to put the time in. Like if you have the right equipment, you're going to catch them.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I got going on, man. Like I said, I got back from that, and then was just kind of like getting everything sorted back out. And I'm looking forward now to like I want to fish around here and kind of like just start doing some more like summer bassing. Like I feel like we were just kind of coming out of this like fish were just starting to move deep type of thing, and then they kind of got weird. And like I feel like now the water got hot and they kind of actually decided to be summer fish now. So
water's like hot. I was out on, like I said, I was out yesterday for 2 hours with Alyssa, nothing crazy, just enough to get a sunburn, and it was 83 on Independence, and I was like, to me, I was just like, that's crazy because we just got a bunch of rain. Like that's crazy for it to warm up that fast, but it's been pretty calm. And yeah,
to put it this way, in Canada where I was, dude, we had 74 to 77 degree water,
which like that's upper end of what you want to fish for muskies for.
Yes. Yeah. Like, I mean, like borderline, and we were pretty far north, dude. Like it's not like we were just like, oh, just right up here. Like, I mean, we were a good ways up there, and even that. I mean, granted, surface temps, but still, like, that's warm water, dude. And like, it's everywhere. It's not just like around here. So
yeah, for sure. Well, hopefully we get some rain or something, cool it down a little bit. But
yeah,
man. I mean, for me, I got a bunch of editing this week, and then like I kind of told the people so before. I put out the St. Jude video that came out. Went over really, really well. Super pumped to finally put out an open water video.
sure.
Give Pink a bunch of shit about putting out videos, but I've been just as bad in terms of open water compared to ice.
Yeah.
But I just got that one out, and then so I'm editing this Lake Vermilion video for Classic Bass.
Oh, of the not of you, like of your
the event. Like that was a month ago. I'm still working on it. Like people are like, "Is it ever coming out?" And I'm like, "Haha, fuck you." Because like,
and also you're like, well, there's 7,000 fish catches. So.
Dude, do you know how many? So we had 3 camera guys filming that event. Do you know how many hours? So 3 camera guys, 8 hours a day of fishing, and they have to jump between boats to different people. But guess how many hours of just fish catches? So that 5 seconds before a hook is set to catch, weigh, release it. After the release, it's cut. How many hours in a row of fish catches do you think I have?
I can't even imagine. I don't know. 10?
15.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
15 hours of fish catches.
Like normally we leave an event and I'm like, oh, we got like 40 fish catches. I'll trim it down a little bit. It'll look good. It's like, dude, I have like 300 fish catches.
Just put it out raw, dude, uncut.
So I joked about that. Actually, I told Dane, I don't know if we're going to do this or not. So no one hold me to this.
Yeah.
But I saved a timeline that has all of them on it. And I told Dane what I might do for Christmas is I might export the 15-hour rendition of it, no edits, just raw clips, and then release it on Christmas. And it just says 15-hour loop of smallmouth bass being caught on Lake Vermilion. And it is not a loop, actually, because it is all completely different clips. Yeah. So that morning of Christmas, you could flip on at 7 a.m. And when you go to bed at 10 p.m.,
people are still catching bass.
They will just be wrapping up catching bass.
That kind of would be lit, actually.
It is,
or just put out like a 45-minute clip of just hook sets.
Dude, it is, but that would take so long to edit, dude. So long. It is so many fish catches. So I've been promising everybody I got more open water content coming. I actually have, like, me and Boots have been working on it. I got I think I got 3 or 4 in the tank right now that I just need to, like, cross the I's, dot the T's, to put them out. But I'm not doing that before I get this Champions Tour stuff out. So I'm going to make sure I get Vermilion out first. But I got a couple more videos coming. And then, like, this coming weekend, as long as I need like a day or two in my boat to, like, reorganize everything. Because right now I'm super smallmouth and spring heavy. And I need to, like, kind of just transition, tackle around a bit, put new line on stuff, and just get ready for summer into fall. Yeah. And once that happens, like, I'm planning on Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday this weekend, going and filming a couple videos by myself and, like, doing a few things. And I got some more stuff coming, so I'm pretty hyped on that. And then at the end of this month, I got Minnesota Bass Nation State, my third and last tournament of the year.
Oh yeah. That'll be sweet.
Unless I sign up for something else. I might sign up for the Green Lake Fall Classic. I almost did the Summer Classic that's this weekend, but I'm still committed to trying to get as many videos out as I can this summer. Whatever that ends up being. I'm just taking the summer off. So I'm like, I just need to try to get as much of this out as I can.
Yeah. I feel that about getting your boat, like, dialed and stuff, though. Because it's like, I feel like mine's in shambles right now after that trip. Because it's like, when we went to the video shoot, we didn't even know what we were going to be fishing for.
So you had everything.
So I took everything. Well, so Nicole did too, though. So I'm like, I had 40 rods in my rod locker of all random shit of mine and hers and all this stuff, plus all the muskies. Like, we had a pile of muskie stuff on the porch at that house. Because we're like, well, we don't need this here.
Yeah.
And whatever. Yeah.
Dude,
go ahead. Sorry.
No. You go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I totally spaced this. I wanted to tell this on the pod, and I totally forgot. So, on my way there, I'm in Canada.
To the shoot or to Canada?
To Canada.
Okay.
I'm on my way there. Everything's going smooth other than the tow thing at this point. We're 10 miles from the place we're camping at. And on my dash, like, low tire pressure thing pops up. Yeah. Whatever, happens occasionally. And I was like, maybe we got maybe a little picked up a screw or something. We can figure that out. Well, it is, like, rapidly losing air. And we get, like, I'm like, well, we're almost there. Like, maybe it'll be fine. We get, like, it is, like, getting, like, low. And we pull in, it's a gravel road down to this place. We're pulling in there. It's dropping. I'm like, this is bad. It's like, we're like, I'm talking 10 PSI.
Yeah.
And so I roll into the thing. I literally pull into the place, throw it in park, just get out. And I just unhooked my trailer. Cause I was like, I know, like, having this boat on here is not helping anything.
Yeah.
So I just, like, unhooked the trailer or whatever. And I'm like, expecting there to be, like, a screw or something in the tire. Dude, the entire, like, sidewall of my tire is just, like, separated. Like, separating, like, it was just demolished.
I've seen that happen on some other picks. I haven't had it happen to me, but I see it once or twice a year, like, probably.
Shit, that's bad, So whatever. We throw this, like, I jack it up, put the spare on her and everything. But then I'm like, like, we probably should get a new, like, I got this, like, I know this tire is not repairable, but I'm like, we're going to have to get a new tire. Like, I'm not going to be up here with no spare. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
like this far from home and the whole thing. And I'm like, shit, like we're gonna have to find a freaking tire shop
in Canada.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I know that they have but I'm like, there's not like a lot around where we are, you know what I mean, of stuff. So I end up whatever dinking with that and calling a place. So we're like from the town, the closest town, we're probably 30, 35 miles from town.
Which is like an hour 15 drive up there. One way.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not close. Let's say that.
Yeah, well, so you just have so much gravel and you got to go around and like it's never direct.
So I'm okay. I call this place, right? Get a hold of a guy, we're chatting, and hey, we're only open till whatever time. I'm like, okay, like I'm just trying to figure out if you can help me, right? So I'm explaining my situation. I'm like, I need to buy like one tire. Like I'm not like trying to replace my whole setup here. But then he's like, well, I can see what, because it's like they got to have this tire in stock because I need it like now, right?
Yeah.
So I'm explaining, and of course, like I bought my tires from like Discount Tire or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not like I had like Goodyears, right? Like that, somewhat whatever. And so he's like, oh, I never heard of those tires and blah 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 or whatever. Send a picture, this type of thing. So he's like Googling this thing, and he's like, well, I got one that looks kind of like that. Oh, I don't have it in this size. And I'm like, what do you have that's like similar to this that you just could sell me? And so whatever, we ended up getting this sorted out. So I drive into town the next day. So we gave up like I think one morning of fishing we gave because we're like, let's just get this sorted out.
Yeah.
Go do that. End up buying the thing. We have to leave it there because of course, like we go to do it, and he's like, well, we have it in stock, but it's at our barn in some wherever the fuck that is place. Yeah. So I had to like just leave the wheel there. So we ended up dropping it off, come back like a day later to actually like get it and put it on the truck and the whole thing. But it was just like, fuck, dude. But we got it. We basically got the tire just in time to like go back for our last like day and a half of fishing and then like load up and leave. So it worked out. But like it was just one of those things where you're like, really? And then not that that's a huge deal, right? It's like, oh, I'd replace tire, whatever. I come home, I go to work the next day, and now I get a nail in the other rear tire.
Dude, I swear when you have one like, go bad, like several things happen. It's never one.
Yeah, so I was just like so over it. I got home and like it was like leaking like a ton, and I patched that one though, so it worked out fine. But I was just like, God damn it, come on, man.
Adam Griffith, still the greatest tire patch job heard across the country.
I agree. That was a good one.
Yeah. Western Boston, gun casing shell through my tire.
Yeah, pistol casing.
Pistol casing, yeah, right through the tire. We thought it was a nail, and then we kept trying to get a grip on it. And obviously it's a shell. There's no shelf. Like you don't get under it and just grab
There's nowhere to pry it up good, yeah.
No, like the whole time we're like, what kind of nail is this? Turns out it wasn't a nail. Yeah. But yeah, I still have no idea how he patched that. Yeah, I brought it to we drove all the way home from Maine. And I literally made a tire appointment with, you remember Spock's cousin Jeff?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I made an appointment with Jeff on the way home for like the day after.
Yeah.
Because I was like, there's no way.
Right.
And they looked at it and they're like, dude, like,
you
get this professionally patched? I was like, no. By Adam Griffith in a gas station in somewhere west Boston.
Yeah, in the snow.
Snowing 10 inches a minute.
Yeah.
They're like, this is
like I did a good job patching
ride this. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I did a good job. Like I even got
I rode that thing until the tread was until the tread was bad.
Yeah. The special glue to like hold the plug in and the whole thing. Like I feel like it's dialed.
Yeah. No, that's sweet. Yeah, dude. Whenever that stuff goes bad, I hate that.
But especially like I said, like on that trip too, I'm just like, God damn it. Like, and like, what are you gonna do though? I mean, you got to just deal with it. But I was just like, shit.
No, dude, that was a thing for me where, it's just frustrating. But like you said, so with stuff coming up this year, like having the boat dialed, like that's just how I feel. Like when Alyssa and I were talking about this the other day, actually, like I don't plan on having another summer like this where I don't fish like 8 tournaments.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And it's like literally because like I thought I would get so much more done I'm getting the
that's
same
not the
amount.
case.
I'm getting the same amount done.
Mhm.
But
You're
I'm just
fishing
like,
less.
I'm fishing less. Well, I have fun fish more. And like
Yeah.
now what's happening is I'm going out with other people, but not not fishing with like, say, other people who are very good and like learning. It's like, oh, I'm taking Alyssa out, or I'm
Oh,
taking
sure. You're just taking like other people.
I'm
Yeah.
taking other people out, and then you don't really fish that hard, and you kind of just mess around, and it's whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just been a different experience of like, when the Minnetonka Classic was done, I was like, cool. I feel dialed on the, in the flow of it. And at this point now, like, I feel like when I go fishing again, I'm gonna have to refine a flow,
Sure.
which I don't like necessarily, but you got
Yeah.
time for it, and just like I said, get everything swapped in the boat. I just think back to like when I was living with Daniel in Lakeville, just the amount of times like I just backed up, hooked up the boat, and left because like just everything was always ready, or
You're
stuff
like,
was
"Let's just
rigged
go."
or whatever. And right now it's just not the case. I'm like, I literally need to spend like one night a week in my garage, just like retying lines, or being like, this is probably what I'm going to go do here soon, or whatever.
See,
But
I feel the opposite. Like, I feel like I've been fishing so much that it's just like everything's in shambles because I come home from something and just like throw all that shit over there, and then I just like throw all this stuff back in. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
no,
it's just
my garage is perfectly organized right now. It is my boat. It is.
Yeah.
I just haven't gone in it and started pulling stuff apart because, like, I mean, dude, the other thing is like, I got to get these videos done. Why would I? Like, what's the point?
I hear you.
can't go fishing until I get it done, anyways. Because like,
Yeah.
part of me will feel guilty the moment I
Sure.
get out there and I start fishing. I'm like, well, that work's not done. I should probably get that done. But yeah, I'm really excited for. I mean, my favorite times of year to fish are like mid to end of July through the end of the year, and spring. So the post spawns, whatever, get through it every year, but I'm just getting geared up and ready and excited to hit it hard the rest of the year. And right now we are also in the gauntlet of Champions Tour season. We got one tournament every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys are busy with that.
Yeah, I got the Pro-Am next Tuesday. Griff's fishing that.
I saw that actually. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, he'll be really good in that format with the kid and catch, weight, release, and everything. He'll have fun.
Yeah, he's been fishing a lot too. I've been talking to him a lot.
Yeah, he's been fishing a ton. I have not been. Yeah, we got that, and then we got Lahamadou right after, and then we have it's not like a month break, but like the first week of the month's Lahamadou, and then the last week of the month's the championship. So I'm like, okay, I got a little bit of time.
Just like
in there,
getting it organized in your brain is like bug. Because dude, I'm already thinking like, because yeah, you're talking, we're in July now, so it's like you got July and August, you got like all this epic offshore fishing that's about to happen, and then I'm like, oh, I want to cash in on some of that. Like, obviously, we're doing these Tourney Tuesdays, which is kind of fun. So it's like it gets you out there and like doing stuff.
Well, and then you roll into hunting season,
dude, and that's the
September,
thing.
right?
That's the thing. And this year, I got like an incredible tag in September.
Oh, you did?
And yes.
You haven't told the pod this.
No. Okay. Yeah. This is new information. I drew an excellent muzzleloader mule deer tag in Colorado in September. And
I just missed anybody watching online. I just missed my whole face with my glass of water.
Full dump.
Full straight
dump.
into the lap.
Yeah.
Like,
I could tell based on the shock of what I just said. It was just too much.
Yeah, sorry, but no, that's okay. So muzzleloader prime, is it? Okay,
muzzleloader mule deer.
Kindergarten question.
Yes.
Kindergarten hunting question.
Yeah.
I always relate muzzleloader to the end of whitetail season.
Okay, so
is that correct in Minnesota? And why is that? Would that be reversed for mule deer? Explain this to me like I'm a second grader.
Yes. So in the Midwest, muzzleloader season is usually like the last season. So it'll be like there's archery starts in September, then there's like a firearm season in like October.
Yeah,
November.
And then there's muzzleloader dudes go out Thanksgiving to Christmas. That's my mind.
That's like,
anyways.
And that's the penance season. It's like if you didn't get a deer, you got to go during muzzleloader, and it's gonna suck. And like
exactly. That's what I've always heard. Okay.
So in almost all Western states, their muzzleloader coincides with archery season in September. So like the only people like on the mountain or whatever are people archery hunting. And then there's a select couple of seasons. One is muzzleloader, and then there's a few of what they call early high rifle seasons, which are like kind of cool tags where it's like you have to hunt above a certain elevation.
Okay.
So like basically you can hunt the top of the mountain essentially with a rifle during September. But like whatever. That's not what I'm doing. I'm doing it. So it's a muzzleloader tag. So chasing mule deer. And like the last time I drew one of these tags, I shot my biggest mule deer to date, full velvet. And I'm very much looking forward to trying to cash in on one of those again.
So how long are you going to be out there then?
This will probably be like I would anticipate like a 9-day trip, probably 9 or 10 days. But we'll see. I still kind of contemplating potentially trying to get out there for maybe like a scouting trip to like go out there on a weekend sometime in the next month or so and just try to maybe hike a little bit or get
out there then.
Yeah, I would like fly out there and then just rent a car and drive up and just probably just like camp or something, for like just the weekend. Just to kind of, I don't know. I mean, I've hunted this unit before, but not the particular area of the unit that is going to be like where I'm going to hunt on this. But this is, I cashed in a bunch of points on this. So this one will be cool because me and my dad actually both drew tags for this hunt.
Oh, sick. And so it's like when you guys got the elk. Well, yeah, when you got the elk tags.
Yeah, the last time we drew out like a limited entry hunt was, that elk trip that we shot 2 bulls on. That was really cool. And then, this is one I've been looking forward to for a long time, and we finally cashed in on it, and it worked out. We both drew, so that was super cool. But yeah, we're going to some epic mule deer country in Colorado, and very much looking forward to it. So
sick.
Yeah.
That's
sweet. And then this one, I don't think I told anybody this either. That so okay, we like to hunt in Montana a lot too. I did not draw a Montana buck tag this year, unfortunately. My dad did again, but Nicole and I both put in for antlerless deer tags for Montana, and we both drew. So
nice.
We have a full squad going to Montana in November, which I'm looking forward to. So yeah.
So we got. Do you not have anything in October this year then?
I'm going to be, I'm going to be archery hunting a lot in October, I hope. So
like around here.
Yes, Minnesota. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Which you haven't done that in a while. Or I mean, you've had like a weekend maybe or something like that.
Yeah, not much. So I'm looking forward to like dedicating some time to it for sure. So be hunting a little bit more here and really depending on how this mule deer thing goes, because if the hard part is like, like with my stuff is getting enough vacation time to do all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So depending on how that hunt goes, typically at the end of October is when I typically go elk hunting. In the event that the mule deer thing goes down pretty early, I think we're going to try to bail and double down and do an elk hunt also.
Nice.
But if we end up burning all the days, it is what it is. So, but yeah, there's a lot of moving parts. I don't know, but yeah, there's been a lot of cool stuff. And like my dad actually, like there's been a lot of hunting chatter going on. He was just in Alaska for he went up there on a bear hunt a couple weeks ago. A little longer than that. Right at the end of May, they went up there. I don't think we chatted about that really at all, but that was cool. My uncle went up there and shot a big black bear. So like, there's been some hunting stuff going on around here. It's been pretty cool. But
if you need to thin out the freezer, I got room.
Yeah, I'm gonna be probably making some calls here. Like I said,
I got to make some more jerky nugs, but yeah, I got
the garage freezer. Did those turn out good?
Oh, dude, yeah, no, they're the best.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Right. They turned out. I couldn't get the sweet and sour one though, so I went the cracked pepper.
Oh, the sweet and hot, yeah.
Sweet and hot, yeah, whatever. Yeah. They didn't have that one, so I went with cracked pepper. It definitely did not have nearly as much flavor.
Fair. Yeah,
but it was. Here's the thing, like I'm eating them for like lunch on the lake.
Yeah, and like it's all good,
dude. It's perfect. Like I packed them.
Well, I'm glad they worked out then. Like I think you told me you made them, but I don't think I ever asked how it went. So
yeah, no, it went great. I actually ended up buying a vacuum sealer.
Oh hell yeah!
So so I got that, and I'm like fully in on that for like boat snacks now. So I still haven't really gone through them because I got a bunch of them in my freezer now. But dude, like how far I have come from like fishing the opens 5 years ago, where like every morning it was just like bag of chips, a Snickers, Mountain Dew, like, you know, you just go out and then you start
gas station mission. Yeah.
yeah, and you start getting a little bit older and you get to like tournament days and suddenly you're like running out of gas. And like, you know, me, for some reason, when I don't eat well by the third or fourth day, I just sneeze profusely and my nose just drains. It's the weirdest thing ever, but I don't know. Maybe I have some sort of disease someone's going to diagnose me with. But I always say it's because I haven't been eating well or I'm dehydrated.
It's definitely something.
But it's always that, because we'll
It's
get back
thing.
and I pound like 3 Gatorades and like eat a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have to eat an excessive amount of food, basically. But then the next day I wake up and I'm like status quo. Anyways, now I do like the jerky nugs. I bring like a small bag of carrots, some almonds, and then like I'll bring like a few little blocks of cheese to like eat with the jerky nugs or whatever. And yeah, they're great. They're the best boat snack you can do by far. They're just so easy.
Well, we'll have to figure something out, because I definitely got some meat I'm willing to share. So
yeah, and and it's summer, so I'm just grilling more and more. Alyssa and I are eating here more and more, so
it's good. Hell yeah.
I don't do anything. I'm still not doing anything like fancy, but like it's pretty hard to mess up just throwing some chicken on the Traeger and being like, I'll eat the chicken.
True that. Yeah,
so,
but it turns out, so hey,
it does every time. But yeah, like you said, it's crazy. I was looking at my calendar for the rest of the year and I was like, all right, I got, you know, two months basically of filming content for this year that I'll put out and everything. And then September, I'm filming a few things that I'll probably hang on to for next spring.
Mm-hmm.
And like October, I want to, you know, as you know, with me, my favorite time of the year is going way north when it's cold as balls and everyone's put their boat away and catching giant smallmouth. And, dude,
I gotta say that lake.
I get married the first. I think I probably know the lake, but we'll talk about it after.
Okay.
Literally, I get married the first weekend of October.
Mm-hmm.
Every weekend after that in October, I have a wedding.
Oh, damn.
So I literally get married, go to a mini moon, come home, go to another wedding, come home. Then I go to another wedding in a different state, come home. And then I fly to Texas for another wedding and come home. And then it's the first weekend in November. And it's like, okay, I kind of, at that point in time, you know how it is early ice. I got to be ready to hit the ice. So I'm like looking at my calendar all of a sudden and I'm like, where's the time going? This isn't good.
See, doesn't it suck to be that involved in people's lives?
It does. I hate everybody. I don't need friends. Stop inviting me to your weddings. No, I'm kidding. It'll be great. It'll be a ton of fun. But I was like, yeah, I'll be the October wedding. You know, normally like there's a bunch in the summer and they're scattered around. I was like, I'll do October so that, you know, we'll be good. And then everybody was like, I'll also do October.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that. God.
I will say, for being a fall wedding, because I was kind of like, when you were like going to do it in the fall, I was like, fuck, that's going to be so hard to like get to. But like, it's like timed out pretty good, I feel like.
Yeah, that's why I said me and Alyssa talked about it. It was like first weekend of October.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So yeah, no, a lot of good stuff coming. And I'm hyped on it. So hopefully, I'm hoping that we can maybe see your Muskie trip on your YouTube channel. Maybe we'll one day see the elk film.
Who knows?
Maybe it'll eventually come out. But
you got anything? I guess I'll have to race you to the next upload.
Yeah. That's a race.
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm hoping next week.
Yeah. No, I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm always scheming on something. So there's always moving parts over here. But yeah, I don't know. I'm probably going to start doing a lot. I'm trying to double down and just been getting more creative with the cooking stuff lately. And I just want to kind of like run with it while I got the mojo, you know?
Yeah. Oh, so, for sure.
Some stuff behind the scenes going on with that and just trying to, you know, keep her going.
I feel you. Well, all right. You got anything else you want to add? Otherwise, I feel like the peeps are probably happy.
Yeah, I think this was a good one.
Yeah, we'll have a bunch more good ones coming. Yeah, we got a bunch of great guests lined up. People who want to come back on. people we haven't chatted to in forever and new people. So get the train on the track. Well, train is still on the tracks. We're rolling right now. We've been growing a ton. So thank you everybody who's been sharing us around to their friends and especially rating and subscribing lately on Spotify and stuff. It's been like a ton of you. It's been really good. So keep that up. But until the next time, you've listened to another episode of Pass the Barb, and we will see you guys later.